Guys, welcome back to Project Manga, and thank you all so much for joining us tonight for our inaugural Project Manga Awards for the year of 2020. I'm tonight's host, Knox.
What up, y'all? It's Kiko.
And Nickums.
And this has been in the works for a couple months now. For those of you who know, or for those of you who don't know, we are Project Manga. We're a team of manga enthusiasts, manga analysts that review Weekly Shonen Jump on YouTube. And we wanted to have a best manga of 2020 conversation for the end of the year. So what we're going to be doing tonight is going through all of the award titles that we created for this award show that we threw out on Twitter and social media and had you guys send in nominations for specific categories. And then we went from that nomination phase all the way to the voting phase, which you all participated in. So thank you very much for your participation in nomination and voting. We have thousands of votes for each award title, and I cannot wait to get into this shit tonight. So,
ready.
Let's go.
If you guys, hey, Trife Manga, thanks for this up, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Love the name. Love the name.
By the way, Trife Manga, love that.
Love the name.
But so basically, we're going to go through each category, and then we're going to show the nominees. We're going to have a conversation about the nominees. We're going to show the winner, and then we're going to have a conversation about the winner. We'll go back and forth, basically talking about our opinions, our takes on the way that you guys voted, what we would have done differently, if anything, things like that. So I'm very happy to see that we have 75 people in here tonight. Thank you so much, you guys, for pulling up. We got people following. We got people subscribing.
Wild.
This is nuts right now, and we appreciate the shit out of that.
Yeah.
But,
love the shit out of y'all.
Yeah, man, if you guys are new, check us out. Go to our About section. Check out all of our links. See what it is we have going on. But, whew, gentlemen, the Project Manga Awards. How do you feel?
Here we are.
It's been
Tropics only tonight for me.
Oh no.
No.
It's been a great year for manga. It's been a fantastic year for manga, and I'm super stoked to talk about all the best parts of manga, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Volume covers, double spreads, character progression, everything, right? So let's dive in and celebrate one of the best years ever in manga, I feel like, you know what I mean?
And a great year that we have coming out of such a shitty year in real life. One thing that we can take away from this decade of a year is how great manga was across the board, regardless of the magazine. I think that we can all agree that manga was the one thing that didn't let us down this year. So let's get into it. What's up? First of all, my bad. Squad. We got Squad in the chat. First of all, we got the whole fam, Damley, Melone, Kaizo Kuo, NJ Larry. What's going on? You already know what it is. Snooty, I saw in here. Barika,
we got Abdo,
Shiloh,
we got everybody.
I saw Matrix Mac in here.
Yato,
World just followed. Thanks for the follow, bro.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We got Eagle. We got Eagle in the chat.
Eagle is in the chat. Awesome.
Yeah, Eagle's in the chat.
What is up, Eagle? I was hoping that you could make it. It's good to see you.
Yes.
Okay. Should we get into the award show?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's fucking do it. We have 17 categories, right? So we wanted to have a best manga conversation for the year. We had great conversations in collaboration with Rogers Basin for Neverworld this year. So if you guys haven't peeped those conversations yet, definitely check out Rogers Base's best manga of 2020 tournament bracket that us, Rogers Base, and a bunch of other incredible content creators collabed for just about a month ago. And then we also guested over on For Neverworld's channel to discuss his personal top 10 best manga of 2020, both incredible streams, conversations, discussions. Tonight, we're getting in our Project Manga bag. We got 17 categories. We're talking about best manga and a bunch of other things. So I can't wait to get into it. The first category tonight is best new character. So, best new character. So here's the thing. So with best new character, right? So the way that it was worded, when we threw these when we threw these award categories out for you guys to nominate for, we worded it in a way to where we said we are looking for characters that came out in the year 2020 from a manga that has been running since 2019 or earlier, right? So this is best new character, not like you can't. So manga that came out
Undead
this
Unluck
year
doesn't work.
It doesn't.
It's too new.
It's too new. It's a new series in and of itself. So that confused a lot of people in the nomination process. But throughout all of these award categories, we took the top 4 nominees and then we threw them in the voting phase. So as far as nominees go, we have Yamato from One Piece, Noct from Black Clover, Dr. Zeno from Dr. Stone, and Kobeni's car from Chainsaw
Easy
Man.
win
Now
out
here's
here.
the thing.
Kobeni's car, baby.
I was as people who joke about Kobeni's car all the time in our reviews, seeing Kobeni's car as a nominee for best new character was so great to see, and not just to see it as a nominee, but to see it make the top 4 nominees is wild. Just fucking hilarious.
So
I love y'all
before we go too much farther, can we say how these nominees came to be, right? Like we did not pick these nominees,
right?
We opened up, to our audience, to Twitter, please submit nominees, and then the nominees were, however many people voted, Yamato, however many people voted Kobeni's car, and we tallied all of those, right? So the most votes gave us the first 4 nominees, and then another round of voting picks the winner, right? So like we did not pick these categories. These are fan submitted categories.
Can't be mad at us.
And there were a lot of people that were mad.
People asking in the chat, right? Why is Kobeni's car here?
Why
right?
is Kobeni's car here?
Is a bit of a
Kobeni's
joke,
car is loaded. What the fuck you mean?
right.
Yeah, and you want to know what? As funny as Kobeni's car is, for the people who have not been following the cultivation of this event, this is a lot of the. Especially this one. Probably this is going to be the only one that really, kind of makes you like raise an eyebrow. It's funny, but at the same time, yes, we did not choose these nominees. But hey, you want to know what? This is a public. You know what I'm saying? Public popularity. I don't want to say popularity vote, but like a lot of people, obviously, you know what I'm saying, are going to vote for popularity, even though that this is supposed to be like, based on like analysis and review and intense contemplation of the series. You know what I'm saying? But it is cool to see Kobeni's car nonetheless. Yeah, absolutely. So how do you guys feel about the nominees? I mean, like we have Yamato here, who burst into the scene in One Piece and really just went crazy as a character himself. You know what I mean? Like the way that Oda plays with, marginalized groups inside of his series, and the way that he is a very progressive writer. You know what I mean? Especially inside of a field or inside of a medium where it kind of feels like those like marginalized groups, or just like anything that's like outside of the norm isn't really embraced. You know what I mean? They kind of want to stay away from it, stick to traditional things that have worked in the past. They have a successful route that is very easy to take. So it's cool to see authors get outside of that comfort zone and give us, characters like Yamato.
Oda's been doing that forever.
And Oda has been doing that forever.
You got to give him,
And Yamato, being non-binary or trans actually.
So like the second official, legit trans character, Kiku Yamato, like legit, trans representation, just phenomenal. And back with Ivankov and the Okama, you had those feelings then, but it felt very a little bit sketchy, right? Like it didn't seem like fully too much of a joke, right? Exactly. But now we have legit, a beautiful trans man, and Okiku, like a beautiful trans woman, right? It's just fantastic to see this. So personally, how I view these nominees, Yamato for me is a above and beyond pick for me. That's definitely my pick of these 4, especially because of, remember the Bible quote, right? Where Yamato's talking about how he has Odin's journal, and Odin's journal is my Bible. And to me, that was that resonated so hard, because One Piece is my Bible, right? So I feel like Yamato is us.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like Yamato is us. I view One Piece in such high esteem, and Yamato views Odin's journal in such high esteem. So
that is such a cool way to put that. Did you say that on when we reviewed that?
I think I mentioned it briefly.
Did you say that? Because that
was beautiful. Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, same. Honestly, like, I just have to echo everything that Nick's saying because, okay, when we're looking at the nominees too, like, sure, Kobeni's car doesn't count. We can't, like, seriously consider Kobeni's car as much as I love y'all for getting Kobeni's car within the fucking nominations. Like, I can't tell you how much joy that really, really actually brings me. When I saw that shit, I was just fucking so amped and just, like, running around yelling, like,
yes, I knew that was.
And it's like, and then it kind of like, you realize, like, okay, this isn't a real pick, and I can't really analyze this character because this isn't a fucking real character.
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
cool. It's cool to see, but we're really looking at 3 characters, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking at Yamato, Noct, and Dr. Zeno. And inside of Yamato, obviously, we can say a lot of things. We kind of already have, but Yamato's character is so much more than just that representation. Obviously, it's good to see that. But inside of the narrative, Yamato does a lot, and you were kind of getting into it a little bit, Nick, as far as like his character traits with Odin's journal and whatnot. But as far as like his presence as being introduced in a war arc, right? And obviously when we're reading One Piece, we're like, okay, let's get to the war arc. We spent a year and a half inside of this flashback or however long it was. I can't remember, but like, you know, we're like, okay, where is it? Especially on Twitter where people are the most impatient and you have to see every week people complaining about it not being at the war yet. So naturally, even if you aren't that kind of person, just being on the internet is going to kind of like rile you up a little bit, you know what I mean? So when we finally get to this war and we get this amazing character introduced with all of this ties in the narrative to Kaido and Odin and just the overarching like plot in general, Ace and the story of Wano specifically, you have this character that could have very easily underwhelmed people, very easily could have underperformed in ways to where we're like, okay, what is this person doing here? Get to Kaido. They tried to throw his son at us. We don't care. But no, as soon as Yamato showed up, everyone was like, Yamato. And that's just how good of a character writer Oda is, a character designer Oda is. And he's a fucking tank on the battlefield too. And he seriously, for a character that's introduced in such an epic arc, that's obviously meant to be a combatant. They have to have that pressure, especially being tied to Odin the way that Yamato is and Kaido and just the whole situation. I think that Oda knocked it out of the park with his character. I do want to move on to Noct and Dr. Zeno. Because Noct came in explosive as well, you know, very late. You know,
one of the best characters in Black Clover for a long time.
Yeah,
definitely.
For sure. Yeah. And I love shadow ability users, you know what I'm saying? So he already got me as soon as we saw him, like kind of for the first time. I think there's like word that it was that he was foreshadowed a little bit earlier than when we first saw him, kind of like subterfuge, like through the Spade Kingdom or whatever. But as soon as I seen that, I was like, yeah, there he is. There's my favorite character now. Okay, so it's Yami and Noct. There's my top 2. And ever since he came out, his character has been so interesting. And us in our reviews trying to figure out what his deal is has been very fun from week to week. Is he serious? Is he not? Is he trolling? Is he not? Is he, you know, we've had a million questions and Tabata's just handled him beautifully since he's been here, in my opinion.
We focused a lot of time on just his facial expressions and what they mean, you know, because it's just, he's just a very enigmatic character because even though, you know, he's on our team now, right? Like he's on, you know, the protagonist side, but like, you just don't feel that a lot of the time. And you're just like, man, I feel like this is what Black Clover's been needing for a long time is a character like this who has a lot of ambiguity around it. So like I was really hyped to have
element.
Definitely. So Noct has been very refreshing, and again, echoing Noxie, it's probably my new favorite character in Black Clover, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
It's just hard to you know pick anybody else over Noct, but yes, great character so far.
How do you guys feel about Dr. Zeno?
I think Dr. Zeno is like super sick. You know, I've been reading Dr. Stone for a long time, and I think we're all basically caught up in Dr. Stone now. Are you caught up yet, Kiko?
I'm a little behind, but I'm not far behind. You know, I'm very close to being caught up. Yes, I do. Yes,
It's. I think the best part about Dr. Zeno is like getting Senku's backstory like further hashed out when like Senku was a young boy and like learning science or getting super deep into science and like you know learns English so he can talk to like the international science community and like and then you have this like relationship over the internet and then boom like wouldn't it make sense for you know if Senku's able to keep you know a legit second by second exact perfect clock for 5,000 years. Shouldn't there be other, you know, other people that are super scientists, you know, that can also do that and
definitely
getting it confirmed, amazing, right? And so like this like play between Dr. Zeno and Dr. Senku. It's so fun to read, right? Like this year, like this battle between two huge minds where
we needed that too.
We needed that.
Yeah.
We needed that, and it's
because
cool.
so far it's been Senku versus the world, right?
Exactly.
Senku versus this civilization's gone, right? So now
Senku
we have an actual science enemy. Very good.
And
for
I was
the story.
wondering when I wasn't necessarily wondering because Dr. Zeno as a character actually surprised me when he was introduced, and when he was introduced, I was like, duh, because we have Senku, like you're saying, versus the world, and I'm wondering going through Dr. Stone, like just how many kinds of like very serious enemies are we going to see for Senku? We already had Tsukasa Shishio, who was like the meathead primate high schooler, who was like the physical obstacle, the raw physical obstacle.
The strongest human. The strongest human.
Exact opposite of Senku. It's like, that's why we needed this. We needed somebody who is the same thing as Senku, so they can have an actual real, I'm very happy. Yeah, exactly. I'm happy with the direction that we're going now.
You need that struggle because we know that Senku is the kind of genius that has been established in Dr. Stone as someone who is not going to be very intensely rivaled by anyone. Until Dr. Zeno came in, we knew that regardless of who popped up, no matter how smart they were, Senku was going to be smarter than them, right? So then you have Shishio, who represents the antithesis essentially of Senku, or like a raw dichotomy of his character inside of this brute force versus intellect. That was a great start to Dr. Stone. Then, we go through everything else and it's like, okay, so are they just going to keep throwing really strong people at Senku because no one intellectually is going to make sense, because the Stone world isn't going to, cultivate anyone? He's way too far ahead. He's got too much of a head start. But then introducing someone who's his equal intellectually that was there in the old world is like the perfect like final boss for Senku. You know what I mean? And
I love that where Senku, I feel like his science has been very much like for the people, right? Like, let's get the food situation sorted. Let's get medicine. Let's get, electricity and engines and stuff, right? And Dr. Zeno, done that too, but like he's gone so deep into military technology, right? Like guns, automatic machine guns, planes with machine guns, right? Like it's just like cool to see like there's like, it's in like Civilization, right? Like you can spec up certain things, you know what I mean? And so Senku's gone one direction, Zeno's gone another direction, and it opens the door for like moral questions, right? Like what should science do? And I think we're going to come to a head, very soon with these two characters in that way. It will be a science battle, but it will also be a moral, ethical battle over the top of science.
Which science is. I mean, like that's just like a normal. That's just like a normal, argument.
Like exactly. Creating all of these weapons of mass destruction. We got death rays and nukes, and it's like, well, it's all about how you use it. You know what I mean? These are just tools until a shitty person presses the nuke button and it wipes out the Eastern Seaboard. You know what I'm saying? I love that moral quandary being explored inside of Dr. Stone between Senku and Dr. Zeno, who are two wildly intellectual characters who want to use that intellect for completely different reasons, which are the reasons that we see being argued about in the real world all the time. You know what I mean? So I love that real world feel while being very fantastical at the same time. So
yeah, definitely.
But okay. So we talked about best new character for a long ass time. A lot of these award categories, there are 17 of them. We're not going to spend this much time on each category, but best new character is something that I feel like we all just had a bunch to talk about.
Sure.
But okay, so Yamato knocked Dr. Zeno and Kobeni's car.
Kobeni's car, by the way, who in the personality poll was 7th and Kobeni was 8th, right? So it does make sense for, this car to be brought up, even in a meta sense for Chainsaw Man fans, you know what I mean?
And you want to know what? Just so I could say something about everybody on the nominee list, Kobeni's car provided so much good comedy, and it's so good whenever comedy is used in Chainsaw Man because it's such a dark and depressing story. So when you break it up, when you break up that with the comedy that Fujimoto Tatsuki is equally genius, in that department of, it's like, come on, man, Kobeni's car is good to see up here. But the winner,
especially, I just want to say real quick. Remember on this episode when I pointed out that Denji is actually attacking with Kobeni's car. Like that was so hyped to,
and it was more damage.
Have it come full circle because it was like it's been 4 chapters, 5 chapters
like
since
5
like
people
Kobeni's...
have fallen out of a building onto the top of this car, and then people have been fighting all around it. Kobeni's like, what the fuck? Insurance? There's no insurance that can handle this.
I just paid that off.
You know. But okay. Kobeni's car. Dr. Zeno knocked Yamato, and the winner is. Drum roll, please.
Yamato.
Winner is knocked. Hey, Nanda toi.
Oh,
best character in Black Clover. So what can you say?
Yeah,
right?
that's definitely true.
So
for
knocked
sure.
wins, right? So for those who want to see the results, we do have screenshotted versions of the results, so you can see that this is not just Nox and the Project Manga gang choosing what we like and lying to y'all. And for those who can't really see it, I'll make it big for you guys.
Congratulations! Like a lot of these, I think a lot of these. I personally will, disagree, or we will disagree with whoever wins. I said, like Yamato, way number 1 for me in this category.
Yeah, this one was pretty close, as you can see on the results here. Knocked only won by about 30 votes.
Right.
Kobeni's car literally did that much damage in this fucking poll. Like that's wild, bro.
But something I was gonna say is that in every single one of these categories, every single nomination, everyone deserves it. You know what I mean? Like every single one of these well-deserved nominations. So anyone that wins is that's what the people want. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, maybe not for Snooty. Say, no, in chat.
Well, congratulations, Knocked. You win Best New Character of 2020.
Hell yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful. Well, before we move on to the next category, how did you guys feel about the win? Obviously, we know that that Nick thinks that Yamato should have won there. Kiko, did you say
I said the same thing. Yamato for me too. Like and I felt like it was not close, but that doesn't mean that I'm not happy with this decision because like I said, Knock has done so much for me within the story of Black Clover to like revitalize my fire for covering the story. So like it's really amazing. I'm happy.
Yes.
Even though I mean, One Piece to me, when I was going through this list too, I'm like, man, I feel like I got to shoehorn some One Piece in here somewhere because like manga's been so good, and it was like, how can, and I'm not saying that for Yamato because like I said, Yamato far and away was the best new character for me. But like looking at these, I was like, damn, I really only got One Piece on like one of these. Wow, this has been a great year. That's how great this year for manga has been. That One Piece was literally, I was trying to like, again, shoehorn, fit it into a category that might not have belonged just because I'm like, I don't see One Piece on my picks enough, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Well, thank you, Ashes, for gifting everybody in the chat subs. I always forget.
Ash is going crazy.
Thank you very much. Whenever you do that, I always forget that it procs our alert box like 19 times in a row whenever you do that, and it's like loud as shit. Like beep, beep, you know what I mean? So it's like, sorry about that, Magnus Artifacts. My bad, bro. But I got that turned down now. Thank you very much, Ashes.
Too loud,
me
bro.
personally, I think I personally would choose Yamato here too. But it was really close for me personally between Zeno and Yamato. Out of everything on this list, I think that Zeno is so important for Dr.
Very
Stone.
Underrated according to this poll too.
Very underrated. I can't believe Dr. Zeno got voted so poorly compared to.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm saying?
Very surprising
compared to everyone else, but Knocked. I think that is very deserving, personally. Yeah. Even though I don't agree, I think that is a very deserving award. But let's get into Best Main Character Performance.
This is a hard one. This was a very hard one.
So Best Main Character Performance, man. Holy shit, we got a lot of goats in fucking in the world right now in manga. You know what I mean? And I don't know how this is going to go, but we're looking at Deku, Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia, Itadori Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen, Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, and Denji from Chainsaw Man. How do you guys feel about the nominees?
So like how I viewed this category, right? Mm-hmm. You know, best main character performance. I viewed it as almost like acting. You know what I mean? Like
me too. Same with the villain one too. And I'm glad you're saying this now because this is how I graded it myself as well.
Exactly. So imagine, you know, if you're watching a movie, the actor is portraying a character, and how believable is the character, how interesting is the character, how fun is the character, how depressing is the character, right? And so this is the author, the mangaka, you know, creating this actor out of thin air and portraying it through the page as opposed to through the movie, right? So like, so I'm viewing this as like drama, as impact, as everything, right? So like, not so much like, does it make sense for the character to have done these things or whatever, you know what I mean? Anyway, long story short, I personally would go Denji here. Because
I knew that's what you were going to do with all those words you said. I was just this is to justify Denji.
Because,
I just knew it.
Yes, Denji is a fucking idiot, right? He's just dumb as hell. But like getting over the depression. So him just submitting himself in his depression to Makima, you know what I mean? Like just do it. Just control me, you know what I mean? I'll be a dog.
Directions that his character takes in such a short amount of time, and it doesn't really feel as like rompy as you think that a situation like that would. It all feels strangely cohesive, even though it is so wild inside of Chainsaw Man. Yeah.
So on that note, something I had written down here is that like every single time Denji did anything, you didn't actually really know like where his character was going. You know, you never would have pegged, you know, depression at the beginning of the year, but once it started happening, it was like, but every single direction he went, not only were you on the edge of your seat super interested, but it made you like truly concerned. Like I think the actor, quote unquote, the mangaka, did a fantastic job of just showing us a very raw character in the form of Denji. So like he definitely takes it for me, though there were characters not even on this list that I would have said, you know, could have been number one. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Shirpa from Golden Kamuy had a fantastic year. Shin from Kingdom, fantastic year. Takemichi from Tokyo Revengers, fantastic year.
Now I'm gonna wait till we see the winner.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying right now, I'm shooting for Takemichi all year, bro. Come on, man.
Right. And then finally, the only one I wanted to shout out for that was Phospholite from Hoseki no Kuni from Land of the Lustrous. Just a fantastic performance from the main character of Land of the Lustrous. Yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah, wow. I mean, for me, it's Yuji. I mean, I'll just without all the all the
bells and whistles. Just want to go
Yuji. I'm just gonna say like Yuji has done so much, right? Yeah. Like it's just I don't know if I've seen a character within a year's time of manga like with so many peaks and like ups and downs, not peaks and valleys, because that makes it sound like there's like a negative time. There's literally been not one stitch of any negative critique I can say about Yuji's character in this entire year. He has just been like from the start of the Shibuya incident to you know his still very bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, you know, the way he was going about shit at that time to really be morally, emotionally, just psychologically crushed into the ground, and to just see him like, man, it's very him and Denji are really kind of in the same boat there, other than the fact that like Denji was really dumb, right? Like so it's like I get what Nick is saying, because I agree with so much of that, is that it was a raw character. Like so like whatever happened, you were like, okay, if we're going in this direction, we can go in a completely different direction, and everything really makes sense with Denji, other than become intellectual genius. Anything other than you know, like anything, but yeah, with Yuji, like it's just like, man, I don't know if I've felt a character's pain like Yuji in a long time. I don't know, man. Like every
goes
chapter
through a lot, but like what Yuji goes through, I feel like I've been through too. You know what I mean? And Denji is a character where I feel like a lot of his stake in this award for best main character performance comes from just how different of a main character he really is comparatively, especially comparatively, but just in general, how different of a main character Denji is from pretty much anything that I've seen before, especially from the East, you know what I mean? And you can see a lot of Denji's influences from like Western characters. I was literally just comparing him to Ash Williams from The Evil Dead just the other day on Twitter, and that's because Fujimoto Tatsuki dropped an art piece of Captain America in like zombified form. It's amazing.
Oh, so tight.
Yeah, that was one of
the tightest things I've ever seen in my life.
I was like, what the fuck? This zombie Captain America from Fujimoto Tatsuki out of nowhere? And I was like, no, not out of nowhere, because this is from Marvel Zombies, right? So you go thumb back through the Marvel Zombies comic, and like the very first like 8 pages is some of like the most Chainsaw Man feeling, storytelling that I've seen in the West. And I'm like, oh my God, of course Fujimoto Tatsuki, you know what I mean? Like he's everywhere, you know what I mean? But as far as like Yuji goes, I feel like Yuji is a shining example of like everything I personally need from a shonen main character. And I feel like he's a very good vehicle for the themes of the series, considering that like if you look at the theme inside of Jujutsu Kaisen of death and coming to terms with it, facing your mortality constantly living on that line where you can die at any moment, but you're trying so hard to live. I feel like Yuji is the character, at least inside of the main trio, right? Because you have like Nobara Kugisaki, who's obviously the character that she is, and we'll talk about her when the best female lead category comes up, obviously. But like, she's never, I don't think, once been shown scared, fearing for her life, internal monologues, worrying about her future, or anything like that. These are things you constantly hear from Yuji, like all the time, that he's anxious, frantic, worried, depressed, sad, whatever. The emotional spectrum is so wild inside of Yuji's character, but then you have these like super hard body, never worried, or at least show that they're worried, never stressed out characters like Nobara. And then you have Megumi, who's like laid back and reserved. So like you'd think that he would feel similarly to Yuji, but he doesn't ever feel fear for his life either. He's always like ready to go in any kind of situation, ready to die at any moment. You know what I mean? Yuji is the only one of the three that actually shows that he's scared and worried about things. You know what I mean? And knowing that that's like the main theme of like Jujutsu Kaisen is how you deal with negative emotions that could be weighing down on you in ways that you might not want, and how you can take that negativity and turn it into power. I think Yuji is an amazing main character for this reason, and just what he's shown us inside of 2020 has been some of the best character work that I've seen in a shonen main character like ever. You know what I mean? Like I literally just recently put Itadori Yuji like officially in my number one shonen main character like slot. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to wait a while to like see what he could do. I saw his potential very early on in his career. You know what I mean? But I wanted to let it marinate. I wanted to let him show us some things. I didn't want to like jump the gun, you know what I'm saying? But now, especially towards the end of this Shibuya incident, I think I can comfortably say he is my GOAT, my top one. And obviously, if you can't tell, he gets my pick out of the four on this list.
I mean, I just kind of want to echo some of that. Just the fact that, like, so we liken, obviously, and everybody does, Jujutsu Kaisen to Hunter so much, right? And so, like, this is how I could foresee Gon acting if Gon was introduced to this life a little later and have a little bit more, like, perspective on things, because, like, And like I feel like Yuji is kind of what Gon lacks, because Gon is like my like top one for so long, but there's still like there's a little bit of something there that like Gon being so like fearless almost at all times. Like I just, when you add that level of really being just scared for a lot of different other reasons, that you can, and when you have a story that's power system is all fucking based around emotions, it's like man, I don't know, just those two things together, it's just like it takes my spot for number one. Same thing, like Yuji is my favorite MC in anything, really. I mean,
it's like hard for him not to be at this point, because it's like, bro,
it's like I rock with Luffy so hard, and Luffy's the GOAT, right? But like, it's like, and you can't usually. That was really another hard thing, I guess I want to say, is like I feel like One Piece, it just gets a different like grading scale, its own award show. It like almost, that's why I was like feeling weird about it not being on my list enough, and so it's like, but that's just completely different, like. Luffy is Luffy. Yuji just has so many different character traits and things that like just
there's a lot more character work in Yuji versus like Luffy. Like definitely, it's very easy for me to like Luffy more, but like I can't grade like Luffy on anything because he just is. You know what I mean? He just is, and like it's hard for me to explain how he makes me feel. But Yuji, it's very easy for me to articulate my thoughts on his character and why he's.
Yeah, we relate to him a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
He's he's so easy to relate to. Like it's so good to have a shonen MC who it's just determination doesn't win. every time, right? Like it's just and it's so well thought out why and like what's going through his inner monologues and just his thought process in all these different scenarios. It's just like, I don't know, it just feels the most realistic in an unrealistic story, like, because obviously shonen manga are all unrealistic if you look at it base level. It's none of this shit can happen, but like Yuji feels like the most real character, MC character that. Especially watching the anime too, like that the special grade where he first fights that first special grade too. It's like, man, like
the anime has been doing wonder. Like I've reread Jujutsu Kaisen multiple times, but like seeing the anime, like is just doing so much. Like not just for my appreciation of the series, but I feel like for my understanding too, because I feel like Gege is like using the anime maybe to try to kind of like fill in some of the gaps that have maybe been like left out, like. Or not left out, but I mean, just harder to decipher what's going on inside of the manga because of the medium itself. You know what I mean? A lot of things, a lot of anime use that platform to kind of enhance the source material. You know what I mean? So I feel like the anime is like good on like showing us what the manga couldn't. You know what I mean? And in that regard, you see a lot of like power system related things, and you see a lot of like character related things, like how their voice sounds in a certain scene, you know what I mean? Things that amplify things and increase or enhance our opinions or decrease, our opinions of these characters. But anyway.
We got to talk a little bit about the other two nominees.
So we got Deku and we got Eren Yeager, right? So, Nick, why don't you get in the Eren Yeager bag?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Eren this year?
For the record, and again, remember my metric is performance, theatrics, like how much does it hit, you know what I mean? And so for me, actually, Eren Yeager is probably my number 2 on this list.
Okay.
Above Yuji. Now again, I everything y'all said about Yuji, totally spot on, 100%, like just a fantastic character. But in terms of 2020, Eren Yeager, like there were moments that just hit so hard, and like I completely disagree with the direction he's taking plot wise, right? Maybe like
I've been seeing
Attack on Titan spoilers. Attack on Titan spoilers. For the record, close your ears. I'll ping in the chat when I'm done talking about Attack on Titan. Yeah. But there's this amazing scene where he's like over the ocean, right? He's with the rest of society, and where not on the island where all the story takes place, in the beginning or whatever, with all the Titans and shit, right? So he's like out in the world, and like there's just this fantastic scene that hit me so hard where he's like, I thought over the ocean would be different, you know what I mean? Like I imagined all this stuff. And when I realized that there was actually people across the ocean in the rest of the world, I was so disappointed, because he's grown up his entire life. Just everyone on the island has been grown up with just the worst life, you know what I mean? Like being eaten alive by Titans, being trapped like rats in a cage, you know what I mean? And he was just like looking so forward to exploring the world and everything.
So and then he realizes I just want to ask a question real quick. I'm sorry. About to like say some epic shit. I feel like I just cut you off. But I just want to ask this question because I don't read Attack on Titan. But I do know that they said in Attack on Titan back when I was reading it that the rest of the world's population is inside of Wall Maria or whatever that wall is, right? Or inside of like this area where the humans
in the walls,
are. So then he gets over the ocean and sees other people and outside of the wall that are chilling. Are they chilling?
Imagine the whole world, 1940s, is still the whole world is populated.
So it's like M. Night Shyamalan's The Village?
Yes, it is. Yes. So and anyway, like, it's wild.
Is he gonna nuke him?
Basically, yes.
He better. Not really, but like, damn, I'd be mad, bro. I'd be like, y'all gonna let us get eaten over here and y'all chilling?
But like, at the end of the day, right? He realizes that across the ocean, people, there's still war, there's still suffering, there's still huge discrimination against like the Eldians, the people that live on the island or whatever, right? So it just hits so hard, and like it really feels off to me to like be like, yeah, fuck yeah, Eren Yeager, because like I thoroughly disagree with everything he's doing in 2020, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it really is a very compelling and dramatic performance. So like for him, for me, like number 2 for me.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah. Wow.
Holy shit.
All right. So that's Deku, wild, huh?
Bro. Yeah. So
let's talk Deku.
See, this is crazy because Deku is such a great character and he's been overshadowed by these other ones, which is wild because it's like you don't think. I mean, at least Yuji from like me personally. I mean, Denji is so weird. It's like a hard place for me to categorize Denji because it's like he's just so unique as
Almost
a character, and
needs
it's like a
grading scale.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like Deku is one of those where, very similar to the things I've been saying about Yuji, is very like relatable. Like one of the most relatable MCs there has ever been, because it's like he's not just fucking going to like power of friendship or power of fucking determination, even though he has the most determination, and he does, and like,
there's a whole mantra
power through all these,
or chant, there's a whole thing, plus ultra, surpass your limits. I think that with a slogan or with a chant like that, there would be a lot of power of friendship kind of situations happening. But it's crazy how high the stakes are in My Hero Academia, considering there's a power of friendship driver. You know what I'm saying? Like in the series, where if Kohei wanted to, he could justifiably just say that anytime a character wins, it's because of plus ultra. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
He could fucking do that if he wanted to, but he has a very grounded, system inside of.
That's how you get canceled.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I kind of like cut you off there.
No. Yeah, no. But that was all good stuff, because it's like Deku, even from the beginning, like even if you are not. Say you are a more meathead type person, right? Yeah. Like, I feel like I am, right? But I also very much so related to Deku for a long, long time, even though it's like, hey, when you are just kind of used to the shonen fucking path, right? Of more of an Asta type. I'm just going to do 100 push-ups and everything's going to be okay.
I'm going to feel a certain way and I'm going to get the move I need.
Well, and just work out usually. I'm just gonna there's gonna be some kind of training that I can just out-train this situation. And it's like, sure, Deku gets training arcs, but Deku gets, so many other things that just make sense to his character, like why he's going, like how you can just relate to him and just say like, okay, sure, he has the best quirk, not yet, but there's so many like times where he's in a lot of despair, he can't save people that he wants to, just things like this, even though it's like he is going to progress to be, All Might times 10, probably, right? Right. And that's where the story's going. But like throughout this entire time, you've still been very compelled, like especially right now in this last year, what we're talking about, because it's like how much he's really fighting tooth and nail, really broken. All his pieces are broken. Like he feels like a gag Usopp. You get hit in the head and like just his whole skeleton shatters. Right, like that's what it feels like for him. So like to have that, and for him to just. I need to do this thing, and it's just like he's very focused and does the thing that needs to be done for his character, not the thing that needs to be done for like Shonen MC. Just the Shonen MC is going
to for the genre. Yeah, that's what I mean.
For the genre, for the genre, exactly. He's doing the thing that makes the most sense. Like I need to, focus on this. I need to make sure Aizawa stays alive, right? Like I need to make sure like. X amount of I'm not just going to run crazily and just like one shot, super, I don't know, Tennessee, Texas, California smash fucking Shigaraki in the face. And,
one day. I don't know, dude. I think, and I don't know, we've said it a lot on the show before. I've said it a lot specifically. I feel like a lot of the Deku slander comes from how relatable he is. You know what I mean? When you have these shonen main characters that exist as raw power fantasies for, people to escape to. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They don't want to see themselves in their main character, especially when they use shonen, storytelling for their macho power fantasies. You know what I mean? When you have characters that never cry, no matter how much damage they take, no matter what happens to them, and all they do is shout their convictions over and over again. Dr. Bayo, I'm going to be the Wizard King, whatever the fuck you want to say. You know what I'm saying? Like over and over again to get yourself through a moment or whatever. Like you get that a lot in shonen. So when you have a character that would cry in the same situations we would, people don't want to be reminded of that, and they will start slandering because they feel insecure with who they are, their emotions, whatever the reason may be. And I'm not saying that everyone who doesn't like Deku is like that, but I feel like from my observations of people on the internet, that's what it feels like is going on to me. And I've had that outright confirmed by a lot of people. Like, I don't like Deku because he's too relatable. I don't want to be reminded of the real world inside of fantasy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
my own personal weakness, right? Yeah. Like that's what's really powerful about him is that again, I feel like I'm probably among the most meat-headed here, and like I think sometimes, sure, you should be able to just like determination power your way out of some situations, but like at the end of the day, that's just not realistic sometimes, and sometimes you really like succumb to the despair that you may have in the real world, you know, and things that you're dealing with.
Does just hard body his way through a lot of things. He's not ran away from a single fight, and he will break himself to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is the opposite of a bitch, in my opinion.
Exactly, but you're never sure he's going to win for like it's never like in stone that he's going to win for sure.
Right.
And if he loses, you know stakes are high on those losses, right? Like you know that things are changing within the story, like usually dramatically. You know, around you know Deku, you know, possibly losing, you know, an engagement or whatever, and it's like, I just that makes that character tremendously relatable, and honestly, you know, you don't want to be, like you said, you don't want to be reminded of your own, you know, weaknesses at times, but that's what makes him a great character, is that you really can reflect on yourself, I think, a little bit more than most shonen MCs allow you to, you know, like
I am incredibly excited for 2021 Deku, honestly. You know what I mean? Like,
and Yuji.
Post arc, but Yuji I feel like has popped off in 2020. You know what I mean? I feel like Deku has grown tremendously, and there's been he'd had a tremendous performance in 2020, but I'm excited for the 2021 aftermath of this arc, you know what I mean? And I think that has huge potential to be like, to really hit hard for his emotional development, for his like, what the hell did I do? Like, all my limbs are broken, you know what I mean? Like like if we go in that direction, that will be crazy. That'd be crazy.
I'm here for it. You know me.
Hell yeah. Next year looking pretty fire too, as you know where these stories are going.
All right, well,
let's go.
That was a very extensive conversation again, but hey, it's best main characters, and you know we got to go crazy.
Yeah, that one's gonna be hard.
But the winner of best main character performance in 2021 is, drum roll please, Eren Yeager.
Yo, that's like I said. Like when y'all catch up in Attack on Titan or watch the anime or whatever, you're gonna see this. Like people who are anime only are not ready for Attack on Titan final season. It's gonna be very dramatic. Like
I'm gonna tell you right now, just off of what you said in your little segment about Eren's like situation, and obviously that was more of a narrative situation that you explained that I kind of freaked out about. But just knowing that the main character has to go through that realization is probably huge for his performance in the year. And I cannot wait until Attack on Titan finishes. For those of you out there, when I was telling that I don't read it, everyone was like, Nox needs to read that shit. I know, buddy. Okay? Hey, I'm waiting for it to end. All right, we got a couple chapters left here as far as what I've been told. So minus Whale, just wait for that to wrap up. But yeah, absolutely. Fuck yeah. So man, out of
wow, Denji slept on for the best main character.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, like, I understand it.
Totally understand.
But like, man, Eren Yeager smoked this poll. And you want to know what? I feel like even though I don't read Attack on Titan, I feel like this makes a lot of sense. Like, I'm really happy that he won. This award,
same.
Because just from what I hear about it all the time, it's like, man, how does Attack on Titan not win every fucking award, bro?
And this is definitely like the year of Attack on Titan. You know what I mean? Like the plot is culminated, and it's just like really popping off, and so it makes total sense that people will be hyped for Eren for sure.
Yes. Okay. So Eren Yeager for best main character performance 2020. That is beautiful. All right, let's get into best current story arc. So when I asked this question, or when we asked this question on Twitter, there was a stipulation added to it that said, yes, some of these arcs may end before the time of this award show. Nominate and vote for the moment right now, just in case. None of the arcs besides Chainsaw Man have ended. You know what I mean? Literally none of the current arcs have ended since the start, except for Undead Unluck. But Undead Unluck is really new, so we're going to see multiple arcs like back to back anyway. But man, holy shit, let's look at the nominees. Paranormal Liberation Front War, Shibuya Incident, Wano, and the War for Paradis. So man, so this is another one that we're probably going to talk about for a long time. But
it's
how
hard
do
to
you
not
guys
talk
feel
about
these nominees, man? Paranormal Liberation Front, Shibuya, Wano, Paradis.
I just want to start this off because, like, so where I ranked Hero before this year was like a 7.5, right? But after this year, I see the 9.5, 10, like I see it. Like I see it now. Like, so like with what this arc has done for this year, it's so hard for me to not put it number one, because when it's like, when you literally move a story like 2 points on a scale out of 10 because of one arc, like that's some monumental shit to me. Like I think it's so important. And like I before we started this, I'll just give you guys some background. Like before we started this podcast, probably about a year before we started this podcast, I don't remember when it was. I think it was, regardless, I like stopped reading Hero for like, I want to say like 2 months, maybe 3 months. I fell behind, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to really catch up, right? Like, because I was just like,
you were like, I'm ready to drop this motherfucker.
Well, because we were reading scans too, like it was reading scans, and it was just like, I was just like, man, I don't really know where we're going. You know, like the gentle stuff was happening, and then it like, I don't know, like didn't you know, like it didn't go, like there wasn't like a high climax like right after. I'm pretty sure there was like you know, the kids were training, they were having like their little you know, class A versus class B battle, and that was cool and stuff, but like joint training arc, and that was cool and stuff, but it's like with scan quality to read a fighting arc after, you know, like a I don't even know what you call the gentle shit. Like it's like a literally like a side story non-canon arc almost.
That the music festival arc.
Yeah. Regardless, I was just losing my interest for Hero around that time, and then ever since, like, you know, my Villain Academia, it's like boom, boom, just been kept going up and up and up for me to culminate to this super climax of like, I would call this like the first half at least of Hero, because I expect Hero to have 700 chapters, right? So like this is like the big first half, like kind of like a One Piece situation, even though you know, I don't think it'll go as long as One Piece, but still, like that's what this has done for me, is move this 2 points. So like I really, really want to give it to that, but it's just like Shibuya Incident is so cold blooded, bro. Like I just love. I know I did all that because.
Wait, so you did all that?
Yes, because I have to justify it, because just Jujutsu Kaisen is just so special to me. Like and Shibuya Incident has been a literally god tier fucking arc. One of the best arcs I feel like I've ever read in anything in my life, you know. And even though paranormal you know, this paranormal fucking liberation front war,
Paranormal Activity 3.
has really brought Hero back to where it needed to be for me, and I really, really appreciate that, and I have big faith, like Kaizoku O said in here earlier, and I was talking to Yato earlier, like the government shit I really believe we're going to get next arc is really just going to like send my Hero love just skyrocketing, and it's going to like
probably if we get that, bro.
And
I've said it before,
like,
I'll say it again.
I'm hyped for that, but it's still Shibuya Incident.
At
the end of the day, Shibuya Incident, Yuji versus Choso is one of the greatest fights of all time, and I don't care. I know it's in a category later, but I don't care. Yuji versus Choso is one of the greatest fights in manga history, and like, that's just like. Really is. And that's just like, okay, that's this much of this much, you know, like it's like that's fucking like, I don't know, 10%, maybe 20% being generous of the Shibuya Incident.
It's like Yuji's first 1v, like real 1v1 fight, you know what I mean? Like,
so wild,
like pretty much every time that it's mattered. And when it hasn't mattered, he's been wildly more capable than his opponent. You know what I mean? So that is Yuji's first real fight in the series, period. You know what I mean? That's crazy. And he lost it. That's nuts. But I mean, as far as Shibuya versus Paranormal Liberation Front, because that is what, even though Wano is here and I love Wano, I don't read Attack on Titan, obviously, but like I have Shibuya and Paranormal Liberation Front above Wano. For the year 2020, personally.
I was to say, at least for 2020. For the year 2021 to be another motherfucking story.
That's the thing about Oda, I've said it a million times too, is that Oda is known for, he's a very slow burn, long game storyteller. You might not see what makes an arc legendary in 12 months, you know what I mean, inside of One Piece, you know what I mean, like he's known for these multi-year story arcs, you know what I mean, so you might not see everything that's great about the arc in One Piece.
Malone in the chat, self-styled Kozuki Oda in our Discord, we were talking in the Discord the other day about how like Wano is like a super arc, you know what I mean, it's so big, it's going to be such a huge percentage of the story of One Piece that like it's almost like and this is just me talking now, like it's almost unfair to other stories to be like, well, compared to Wano, you're like Wano's going to be like several years. It's going to be like one of the biggest
arcs in your
200 chapters or something.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, Wano, I think if we go back, in a couple years, we go back and read all of Wano, I think Wano will be better than all of these by a big margin. But in terms of only 2020, I also have to say Shibuya Incident it's the new Chimera Ant arc. You know what I mean? Like it has so much. It's so dense. It's so full of action, front to back. All year we've been like just so hype over it.
Momentum throughout the start to where we're at now in the climax,
right?
And it never feels like the pacing is awkward for a moment. You know what I mean? To have such a high octane story arc with so much going on, so much character work happening, so much action happening, so much narrative like relevance to every event that happens. It's crazy to think about what this arc does, not just for Jujutsu Kaisen, but for like shonen in general in the future.
Yes.
What are future authors going to learn from Shibuya Incident and take into their stories? And I definitely very strongly feel like Shibuya Incident is an example of an instant classic shonen arc. Like this is going to set a specific standard for the future of big arcs in shonen moving forward.
Really move the goalpost. And honestly, a lot of authors will probably look at Shibuya Incident and say, if I can't write an equal fucking arc like this as a climax arc, around whatever 100 chapters, like obviously it fits perfect within Jujutsu Kaisen, but like whenever in your story, like whenever the equivalent of this time in Jujutsu Kaisen is happening in your story, and if you're not confident you can write an arc as good as Shibuya Incident, you might really like say, fuck it, I'm gonna hang my manga pen up today. Fuck it, if I can't do it,
and that's crazy to think about. What it comes down to for me inside of these, inside of these options, Paranormal Liberation Front War is one of the best shonen story arcs that I've read to date. Shibuya Incident, easily one of the best shonen story arcs that I've read to date. And it's hard choosing one or the other. But I think what it comes down to is like something that I've said before on our channel and just in general on the timeline inside of group chats all the time. I say, even though these are my top 2 stories in Shonen Jump right now, I can get everything that I need from My Hero Academia inside of Jujutsu Kaisen. I cannot get everything I need from Jujutsu Kaisen in My Hero Academia. You know what I mean? Everything that I love inside of one story, I can't get in the other one. But I can the opposite way. You know what I mean? So that is what wins it for Shibuya for me personally. But
if I can say a couple more things or whatever, like the War for Paradis, like it's like I said earlier, we're talking about Eren Yeager, right? People ain't ready. If people who are current in the manga, people who are anime only, you are not ready for this story. It's going to be one of the craziest years of anime with Attack on Titan this year, or in 2021 rather. Kiko, you said my exact thoughts on the Paranormal Liberation Front arc. For me, exactly the same thing. Like I thought Hero pretty good, you know what I mean? But this year has made me go like, oh wow, Shigaraki, fan-fucking-tastic. I love Shigaraki now, where before this year wasn't a huge, the biggest fan or whatever. Deku, I've criticized Deku a lot in the past, you know what I mean? And like this year, like wow, like his performance like really set him apart and like leveled up. Like so, I feel like this has been the best year of Hero for me ever. But yeah, it's still hard to compare to the Shibuya Incident. You know what I mean?
Shibuya Incident's too much, man.
Let's
look at the winner.
Let's do it.
So, Paranormal Liberation Front War inside of My Hero Academia, the Shibuya Incident inside of Jujutsu Kaisen, Wano Kuni inside of One Piece, and the War for Paradis inside of Attack on Titan Shingeki no Kyojin. The winner tonight for best current story arc is, drumroll please, War for Paradis.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah. Like I said, people ain't ready, and if you know, you know. Like it's been like very, very dramatic. Like just like wild.
Yeah, no arguments here. Even though we obviously got into our bag a lot about what we would prefer. Me and Kiko as people who don't read Attack on Titan and feel very strongly.
AOT readers.
We're not current AOT readers, and we feel very strongly about what we wanted to win on this list. But I feel like at least me personally, seeing War for Paradis win on this is not like, I don't feel any kind of way about it.
Yep.
Like, fuck
yep.
For you.
Not surprising. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I trust Nick's opinion. I trust the opinions, of my friends on Twitter that review manga as well. And everyone is screaming at the top of their lungs about Attack on Titan. So anything
I'm so looking forward to the ending of the arc, because like I said, like I just so disagree with what Aaron's been doing, and like I'm so concerned about the whole planet, the whole story, all the characters. I'm just so concerned. So I'm like, I really hope the ending is good and wraps it all up with a nice bow, because I'm very concerned. But I'm sure it'll be very dramatic regardless. Ooh, wow, very close here.
Super close, dude. So as you can see, War for Paradis only beat Paranormal Liberation War by like 10 votes.
1%.
Yeah. So that was a butt clencher.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, and only beats Shibuya by 3%. Like that's a close race. I just got to say, there's never been a year where people have talked so highly about a manga that made me want to read one singular manga ever, to get caught up ever in my life than Attack on Titan. Like, it's like, you can't find a person who's read Attack on Titan that has any serious critiques of it whatsoever. Sure, you can say the moral stance of Aaron,
which I make your series better.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Challenge my outlook.
Yes, all the more dramatic.
Like, if you challenge my outlook, or the outlook of the characters that are, the outlook of the protagonist, or both.
Yes.
Son.
Yeah.
We got a masterpiece, in my opinion. That's hard
to do. To be third, for Shibuya to be third on any fucking poll in any world, that really makes you like, okay, obviously we got to get on our Attack on Titan, right? Like,
right.
I cannot wait. Like, you have no idea. Like, I binged, I read a lot. I am going to viciously binge this series when it finishes. Like, harder than I've ever binged anything. I feel
you're gonna be reacting crazy in the Discord.
Yeah,
you're
I'm gonna be like, lit. I might live tweet it. I might just say fuck it and live tweet it, or I might read it on Twitch or something like that. Who knows? We'll see. But congratulations, Attack on Titan, for winning yet another award here at the very first Project Manga Awards. Let's get into Best World Building. Okay.
All right.
So
this one will be interesting. Yeah.
So Best World Building. In my opinion, this category is one that I feel like we have seen incredible things from everything that I read, at least throughout the year. Inside of this category, world building has been something that I have been the most excited about inside of manga this year. We have seen tremendous world building inside of pretty much everything. The nominees that we have are Undead Unluck, One Piece, Black Clover, and Attack on Titan. And inside of, obviously, the three series that I read, we've gotten incredible world building inside of 2020 specifically. And my pick goes to Undead Unluck. For this category.
And that's technically the right answer as far as I'm concerned. but it's like and me and Knox had this conversation last night. Well, we were pretty fucking drunk, so like maybe I won't maybe I'll say it. No, I should probably say it better than I did last night. But I don't know. I think I was really getting in my bag.
You were going crazy. You were going
about how One Piece is, you can literally change the name of One Piece to World Building, the manga, right?
Exactly.
So it's like so hard to really put anything above One Piece. So I'm gonna put One Piece here, even though like this year, like Undead Unluck, man, is giving me, there's literally so much, like reading Undead Unluck has taken me places I don't even know where I'm going, right? Like it's so crazy, and the world building has been so good.
It's not just so good, hard. It's different. It's a lot. And it's crazy how much is fit into such a short amount of time without it feeling congested and cluttered. This is some of the best world building, not just from like a raw data standpoint, because obviously One Piece wins that because there's no that. I mean, Tower of God is pretty close, but like, I don't know. And I'm not going to argue Tower of God versus One Piece world building, because that's not what this is about. But period, One Piece, like Keiko was saying, world building the manga, but like inside of the year of 2020, Undead Unluck is doing things that I've literally never seen inside of this genre. Not even close.
Fantastic.
You know what I mean? And people, I feel like, I'm not really looking at the chat as much as I probably should, but I feel like there's going to be, since we have close to 100 people in the chat right now, I feel like there are going to be a lot of people that see Undead Unluck on this nominee list and go, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean?
There's a couple.
And
most people are like, it better be Undead Unluck. But
yeah, exactly.
Who have not read Undead Unluck, and they're like, whoa, really?
Read Undead Unluck in the chat. I bet you they're saying Undead Unluck should win this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is just telling you, go fucking read it, because all you're doing when you scratch your head and go, why is Undead Unluck on this list? It just means you haven't read it. Because if you fucking read it, there would be no questions at all about what it's doing here. So,
and there's so many levels. It's like it's building a world of like different dimensions, almost like building different worlds, right? You got the fucking, you know, like
real world that we are the most familiar with.
Interstellar world at some point, like it's like
shit going on.
You got cosmic shit going on. But
even though there's cosmic shit going on in Undead Unluck, it doesn't feel like the cosmic we've seen in shonen storytelling specifically.
Never.
Like when you go into like Gintama or Dragon Ball, or you know, any other thing that like there's,
or even like a Samurai 8, right?
Samurai 8, wherever there's like intergalactic travel of any kind, or any kind of science fiction like element, you know, to that degree, it worries you because time travel has been done so poorly in fiction throughout history, and all of these things that you would normally be worried about seeing a lot of these concepts inside of Undead Unluck, you're just not worried about because Tozuka is a fucking god. Literally.
If I can jump in a little bit, we have a fantastic video on YouTube, our one-shot episode, why you should read Undead Unluck. So if anyone currently watching does not read Undead Unluck, maybe you've heard bad things from the first chapter, which is honestly like one of the worst chapters of the whole, you know, story. But if you don't read Undead Unluck and you want to be convinced to read Undead Unluck, check out our YouTube, obviously. We have this video, why you should read Undead Unluck. The first half is us gushing about, non-spoiler, gushing about Undead Unluck and why you should read it, and then the second half is current, you know, from a few weeks ago, current Undead Unluck theorizing. And one of the biggest things about Undead Unluck is theorizing, and just because it's so dense with its world building, dense with its magic system, dense with everything, right? So it's fantastic.
The breadcrumbs left are just all over the place. You literally will stand in a pile of breadcrumbs all over and not know where to go. Like, how do I get back to where these breadcrumbs are supposed to lead me? I'm in a big ass pile of croutons now. What am I gonna do?
Another thing I'll say, I'll just say for the record, Undead Unluck is my pick here. Obviously, like not close. I mean,
that's the correct answer.
Right? Besides One Piece, which One Piece will always win every category if you really think about it too close.
Exactly right.
This is the first category where I will actually explicitly disagree with a nominee, and I will disagree with Attack on Titan here.
Wow.
World building. What exactly was the world building for Attack on Titan in 2020? The chat.
Wasn't the world already built?
Yeah, everything.
There's a lot of factors of world building outside of just like settings and locations.
Sure.
But generally, everyththing that we've learned about the world of Attack on Titan, we learned prior to this, and then maybe one thing about Ymir. I'll just leave it at Ymir, and no spoilers or anything. But like, if you know, you know. But like, there's basically no world building in Attack on Titan in 2020. It's all the hype train of the current arc. So like this is one where I will explicitly disagree with the nomination. I don't think there was much world building at all, and certainly not enough to have it be in the top 4 of all the manga that have had great world building in this year, right? So
I also think Black Clover. I mean,
Black
I think
Clover
the world building's been pretty good, man.
Okay, now
that was good. That was very good.
Someone in the chat is probably going to have to remind me, because I don't have the list of like the first chapter of the year in front of me, like I did for the other streams that we were a part of. But just assuming for now that this is included in 2020, I really liked the direction that Black Clover went in after, like coming out of the Elf War arc and going into the arc that we have now before the time skip, or for the time skip and then after the time skip. I was wondering when we're going to travel in Black Clover, because we know that these other areas exist. We kind of spent some time in Diamond with Mars and whatnot, you know what I mean? But there are other areas that have yet to be explored. And this is something that I was complaining about for a decent amount of time inside of my Black Clover analysis before we started the show. And then when coming out of the Elf War, when Asta is accused of all of these things, and then he is banished from Clover and has to go clear his name, I wanted to say in the moment when I read that chapter, this is Tabata going, oops, I forgot to put in some traveling and some world building. Maybe I should throw that in here. But the way that it was handled, it was so organic and it felt so natural because it's like, okay, Asta has to leave because he can't be here anymore because he's being accused of everything that happened prior. So this is a very natural, organic way to give the series something that I felt like it had been missing. So I loved that. I don't know if that happened in 2020, but that chapter when we got the
fighting Xenon.
It's Yuno versus Xenon for the first. Okay, well then obviously that doesn't count. But that chapter inside of Black Clover was huge when we saw what Heart specializes in. When we saw it, and we got that big diagram with all the maps and shit. That was that was wild. And then even going into the Gordon chapters when we're seeing Gordon's family and the way that they use their poison magic.
Man, I love Gordon shit.
Yeah, bro. Because I mean, like anytime, like that's where I feel like Tabata excels. One of the areas that he excels in the most is magic application. I feel like shonen storytelling in general is kind of inundated with magic storytelling at this point. So when you have an area of storytelling inside of a genre that I feel like is trite or like played out, and you're doing things that wow me inside of that specific area that I think I'm never going to get anything else from, that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? And that's something that I've been screaming, in praise for Tabata the entire series. So when we get that Gordon chapter and the way that family uses their poisons was huge for me. And I felt like I learned more about Black Clover's world just from seeing the Gordon family interact with Asta and everyone who was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I don't even know if that Gordon actually, wait a minute, that Gordon chapter was before.
I'm pretty sure that's before.
Because it starts with Xenon.
That isn't where it starts. That wasn't his start. I remember now. I'm pretty confident it's when the the Spade Kingdom, like, I don't know, like servant dude escapes fucking Spade Kingdom and tells Yuno who he is. I feel like that's the beginning. Is when Yuno gets like his backstory, basically, right?
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that's right. And then he rushes off to go help Golden Dawn.
That is it. Yeah. The first chapter of 2020 was when we get Yuno's backstory. Yeah. So nothing I just said is inside of 2020. Sorry.
But Yuno's backstory is great world building.
Yuno's backstory really is good world building. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, those were the main things that was like that had all the stake for Black Clover inside of this.
But didn't we have? Man, it's still hard to remember. But like going through the dense mana zone where they were in that. No, that probably wasn't this year either, right? Like when they're
because if it
where
starts
you got
with the
slaves,
backstory, then like it's all action the whole time.
Yeah,
and Tabata
you're
doesn't really do the best job of incorporating like other like thematically like important things inside of his action. You know what I mean? So like when there's a bunch of action popping off in Black Clover, you can get world building, you can get character work, but it mostly focuses on that action. You know what I mean? For the most part. So as far as like what we'll see outside of action from Tabata that's wildly impressive, probably not going to see a whole bunch while action is going on. And I can't even remember anything. I mean, besides after Yami got abducted, all of Asta's character work that should have been there for the entire series came out, and you know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden, for me, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like Asta was a very flat, very boring MC for the entire series up until Yami gets snatched, and I feel like that was his first like real big moment of loss, and that was the first really big growth catalyst for his character inside of Black Clover, coming really late, in my opinion, close to 300 chapters. I feel like there should have been a lot more character work inside of Asta. By now, but we're talking about world building. Sorry, I don't think that Black Clover wins it here. I am, by the way, audience, I'm the only one that knows the answers to these, by the way. So you're getting like live reactions.
Me and Nick don't know.
I'm literally the only one that knows the answers. But I think we've talked about this enough. The winner of Best World Building 2020 is, drum roll please, Wano Kuni One Piece.
Sorry, that's fair.
Fine.
That's well deserved.
Wano Kuni, huh?
It's like Nick said. Yeah, exactly. Like Nick said, at the end of the day, if One Piece just like clean sweeps wins everything, it's like you can't even really argue, right? Like, I mean, you probably actually could in some of these categories.
But we don't want to.
We feel some kind of way about it. We don't feel right about it, you know?
I personally would put Undead Unluck here over Wano. I mean, obviously,
because that's the correct answer.
It just is the correct whole time. Like, Undead Unluck, I feel like definitely wins here. Okay, welcome back, you guys. All right.
What's up?
We are back with the Project Manga Awards 2020, and we are moving into Best Paneling. So, We're gonna move through, I want to say, like, these next 5 to 6-ish categories a lot quicker than the ones beforehand. But nominees for best paneling are going to be My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, and Haikyuu. And I love seeing Haikyuu on the nominees list. I feel like this is something that, considering that Project Manga is a very shonen-centric YouTube channel, and our community is very shonen-centric, I want to say as well. That is not to say that we do not, obviously we read a bunch of shit, you know what I'm saying? But we talk about primarily shonen stuff, and primarily battle shonen stuff. So seeing Haikyuu show up this high on the nomination list, considering our community, considering who we are, and I understand that this is a very public thing that a bunch of people were sharing all over the place, but it's still very surprising to see Haikyuu. And I don't read Haikyuu, I watch Haikyuu, but I have seen the spreads, I have seen the art, I've seen it. It's gas. I don't know if, from what I've seen, obviously I don't know anything, but I don't know if I would put it over anything else on the list of nominees. But Nick, do you read Haikyuu, or did you just watch it?
I just watch it. I've heard fantastic things about the paneling this year for Haikyuu, and yes, I don't read it, so I've not seen it. I'm hearing about how good the art is and how amazing the ending was, or whatever. Like, I definitely want to get in there. For me in this list, like, all of these series, like, I was trying to think back to our weekly analysis. Obviously, don't read Haikyuu, so weekly analysis for the other three. I was trying to think back of, like, what were we talking about week to week in terms of paneling, right? So for me, it was Chainsaw Man, right? Like, we very, very often talked about Chainsaw Man and its paneling. But I do recall many conversations about Hero and Jujutsu Kaisen as well for this. So I think this is a toss-up that I have no idea who's going to win, and I'd be happy with any of them.
In my opinion, this is a very easy clap for Chainsaw Man, just because, like, the things that we've seen inside of Chainsaw Man's paneling throughout the series in general has been some of the most inventive, some of the best art that I've seen in shonen storytelling ever, personally, in my opinion. But also, just inside of the paneling is so crazy. Like, I'm remembering, and I know that we want to keep this 2020 specific, but I have to shout out to Fujimoto Tatsuki for the panel during the Katana Devil arc, which I think goes by another name, technically, or whatever, but the Katana Devil confrontation inside of Chainsaw Man, where Aki is fighting him with that sword, or whatever, that big ass sword that he's got, and the fucking Hell Devil, his hand is coming out of the side of the fucking shit, and whenever Aki's going to stab the Katana Devil with the fucking sword, the Hell Devil, or whatever fucking devil that is flicking the fucking sword into, like, come on, bro. Like, that shit is so gas, bro. And I know that didn't happen in 2020, but I just had to throw that out there because that is
as an example of where it can go, right?
One of the best action paneling moments I've ever seen inside of what we've seen in 2020. We've seen Fujimoto Tatsuki do incredible things with his katakana sound effects woven into the paneling. We see all types of crazy, at least what I've seen, never before seen stuff inside of manga paneling, inside of Chainsaw Man. And I always love when I see something I've never seen before in the paneling. Witch Hat Atelier is really good for this. Chainsaw Man is really good for this. There are a couple, and I wish Witch Hat Atelier made it on this list a lot more.
Exactly,
but obviously, it's just not going to, because it doesn't get the exposure that it deserves. Kiko, your audio is not coming through. You are mute.
Yeah, you're muted.
What? That's weird.
There you go. It was a button. It was a button. Yeah. But I saw you kind of trying to get in your bag there during my spiel. So go ahead, since you've been cut off for a moment. How do you feel about the nominees?
The thing that stood out to me with Chainsaw Man, just like Nick is saying, we talked about paneling a lot when covering Chainsaw Man, more so than any other story. So, like, it's just like the clear favorite, probably fresh in our minds, which I agree with, and I'm not going to disagree with, because that's one of the things. It's like, to go through and, like, look at all these stories for 2020, and to, like, look at paneling, like, you can do it. Probably not. It probably isn't that much work to run through, because you're not actually, like, reading. You're just you're looking more than anything. And I did do some of that, but, like, I just think back to a few different crazy types, like the spear devil throwing, like, the lance of Longinus, like, upwards, and, like, how there's, like, this tiny little, like, parallelogram panel that runs through the entire page that's just the spear, like, I mean, and there's, it's, like, broken at the bottom where the spears come. I just man, there was a lot of tight fucking paneling. The Fujimoto's always done. Yeah. So like, yeah, that feels like the pick to me. Yeah. Man, I remember some crazy hero ones too. There was one where like the whole page bent and turned like, bro, like it's like that shit was wild too. Like I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Chainsaw Man because that's the one that seems most fresh to me.
My Hero Academia or Chainsaw Man could win here, and I wouldn't be mad about it. I obviously am a huge Jujutsu Kaisen fan, so I just want Jujutsu Kaisen to win anywhere that it can inside of this. But like trying to be as impartial as I possibly can and like take bias away. Yeah, and I'm biased for Chainsaw Man too and My Hero Academia, but. I want to say Jujutsu Kaisen just because like I personally really fuck with Gege's art style. Some of the things that I've seen them do inside of the paneling of the action combat, specifically inside of Jujutsu Kaisen, has been very impressive. I won't say that it's like mind melting like Chainsaw Man weaving, you know, the katakana sound effects into the paneling. That's some crazy shit. Jujutsu Kaisen I feel like has done that too, especially when Sukuna was going into his domain expansion, or actually before he went into his domain expansion, before we got the Malevolent Shrine, when he was fighting Maharaga and he just used regular ass dismantle, or maybe it was a cleave, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was a huge keen panel, you know what I mean? Like a gigantic key character. You know what I mean? That like was literally like the whole page, but it was, but the shape of the key character was cutting through the city. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So
Jujutsu Kaisen got that shit too. You feel me?
I just remembered another one for Chainsaw Man real quick. The Hell Devil sticking the finger through the panel to wipe the kids out, bro. Oh man, to take the kids' heads off, bro.
Yes,
so good. The way the Hell Devil was used with the hands and the hope, man.
Yeah,
bro.
Easy clap. Like I said, easy clap.
Yeah,
but I'm totally
literally
cool
with big hands.
I'm totally cool with My Hero Academia winning here. I'm cool with fucking Haikyuu winning here because this is the only thing that I think Haikyuu has showed up for on this list as far as nominees go. And even though that is also a Shonen Jump title, I just really wanted to see more non-Shonen Jump manga make these nomination lists. Hopefully by the next time we do this for year 2, year 3, we'll have a little bit more renown. The word will get out a little bit farther, and we'll see a lot more diversity inside of the nominations. But inside of what we have here, I think confidently, personally, I want to say it's an easy clap for Chainsaw Man. Would be totally cool with My Hero Academia, and I would love Jujutsu Kaisen as well. But the winner is, drum roll please, My Hero Academia.
Let's tell you, it's that panel that's all bent, turning the whole page sideways, bro. Like I'm telling you, that's the one.
That was awesome.
So the one that I chose for the winning picture here is just like one from like recent memory that I was like
the flames
with the flames,
breaking the panel, like burning the panels, like that's
like the mirage, the heat mirage, like waviness.
Heat mirage,
yeah. So as we can take a look here, this was another very close poll inside of the top 3. You have My Hero Academia just barely beating Jujutsu Kaisen in best paneling with 231 votes versus 198. So that is...
Chainsaw Man's up there too.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see that Jujutsu Kaisen did as well as it did.
That's a fairly even voting pie, right? Like that's a fairly...
Yeah, absolutely. But
and I can and I'm not a reader of Haikyuu either, but like I can just imagine how tight paneling is going to be on a volleyball manga.
Yes,
like,
bro.
And fucking, like it's like there's a lot of
the metaphors, like the metaphors that
dives and
the metaphors that Furudate does with crows, you know what I'm saying, and birds taking flight, you know, in your leaps to go spike. You see a lot of panels, at least from what I've seen, where you know what I'm saying, Hinata is going up for his serve, and the way that his arms go back when he jumps looks just like the wingspan of a crow, and you literally get that crow, a beautiful drawing of a crow next to Hinata as he's throwing his arms up to hit that spike. I don't know much of anything about Haikyuu, but I saw that fucking double spread and I got chills down my entire I was like, this is this is it, bro. It's not very often that sports manga really makes me feel like, holy shit, I need to be an avid, you know, enthusiast of this series. But Hajime no Ippo, Slam Dunk, and Haikyuu just fucking do it for me, man. You know what I mean? And I cannot wait to go through the entirety of the Haikyuu manga now that it's over. But very happy for My Hero Academia on this W here, though, man.
Yeah.
I think it's deserved enough to win, even though I would have chosen something different. I feel like My Hero Academia isn't something that you hear a lot of people commemorate for its paneling. So I feel like this might be a very awkward win for a lot of people out there, but My Hero Academia is something that people notoriously underrate. I feel like people I feel like it's very easy considering the generic film that's over the series. It's very easy for people to assume that it's a very turn your brain off generic shonen, and obviously they'll miss a lot of, you know, really important things doing that. And I feel like that extends to the art and not just the writing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, and
definitely.
I feel like even though you'll never really hear too many people outside of the intense My Hero Academia fan base really praising it, you know what I'm saying? Like screaming from the rooftops, the paneling is crazy. But if you really take a look at it, it's there. And obviously the votes agree. So very happy for that. Let's get into what do we got next? After best paneling, we have best female lead. And this is a topic that brought about a lot of contention on the timeline, especially a couple months ago when we saw Nobara Kugisaki in her performance versus Shigemo, aka Handy Hup Hup, sword user in the Curse group. A lot of people thought that Nobara Kugisaki underperformed in that fight. There was definitely a lot of arguments going on online comparing her to Sakura and things like that. But since then, especially inside of the year of 2020, she has shown
off my timeline.
Y'all are tweaking. Shut the fuck up. And just wait to see what the fuck they do.
Shigemo's like a grade 1, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, it's like, of course she shouldn't have beat fucking Shigemo. That just makes me mad.
Yeah. And you want to know what, dude? Honestly, everyone says that Shigemo beat Nobara Kugisaki there. I think that she just
the fight was canceled.
Yeah.
And
people say, "Oh, she would have lost if she kept going." It's like you don't know that. Like characters take damage in action stories.
Yeah,
like you are not going to say that because she socked in her jaw and took visible damage for a moment, got back up, and yes, she was like, "Hey, this is a physical thing that I can't like really help no matter how tight you are. If you get hit in your fucking jaw, your brain's gonna smack around your fucking exactly. It doesn't matter how tight you are, everyone's got a sweet spot. And now in manga, they don't really care too often to show the real physics behind getting hit in your face. You know what I mean? You see plenty of people get hit in the chin and with no effect in manga all the time. But the manga that chooses to care about that part of anatomy, like that enhances the story for me. If you're going to like, if we get a scene where it's like you got hit in your jaw, that means your brain smacked against your fucking cranium and now you can't fucking stand up straight. That's fucking tight to me. That happens to a female character inside of Jujutsu Kaisen. That happens to fucking Nobara, and you want to call her fucking Sakura. Yuji gets fucking thrown across the fucking room in every fucking fight. Megumi gets fucking thrown down the fucking block in every fucking fight. Sure, they fucking like win in the end, I guess. But like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just so crazy how people view female characters inside of the shonen genre. That it's like, anytime they do anytime anything negative happens to a female character, that character is bad now. You know what I mean? And it's just so stupid. Anyway, our nominees are Nobara Kugisaki from Jujutsu Kaisen, Power from Chainsaw Man, Noelle Silva from Black Clover, and Kei Yonagi from The Late Act Age. How do you guys feel outside of Nobara about the nominees?
Let me say something first right away. So I was trying to get caught up in Act Age before bad stuff happened, right? Before we got canceled. So I was working my way back into Act Age, and it's like, it's a shame like that this person is a sicko and he probably should be the book should be thrown at him much more than it's going to be in Japan. Right. And he definitely should suffer consequences, very great consequences for what he did. But he was writing, I mean, from what I read in Act Age, it was like Kei Yanagi should have probably won this like hands down, right? Like and I didn't even get current.
Like 10 times over. Period.
Yeah, and I didn't even get current, and I was already seeing it, and I was just like, man, like, but to me, you're disqualified off the list, no matter how good the writing is.
Sorry,
you're
off the
like,
tough.
I can't in good conscience vote for some. It's not the character's fault.
It's not the character's fault. It's not Usazaki's fault, especially.
You
know what I'm saying? Like, the artist deserves everything, and I heard that she's got a new gig, so I'm very happy that she's got a new gig. If she does, that's what I heard. I don't know if that is confirmed or not, but I'm very happy about that. But the author blew it. Terrible person. Intellectual properties, I don't care about anymore. I loved Act Age. I loved Act Age.
I was so hyped for Act Age. It was fantastic.
And I'm one that it's very easy to separate art from from artists. You know what I mean? Like I can definitely appreciate.
Yeah, until we go this far, of course.
Yeah, I can appreciate Act Age for what it did and what it was doing. If we entirely take away the author from Act Age, no complaints.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But what the author did matters, and it extends to their work. And I don't feel right.
Same.
I'm not going to get it.
Same. Just don't feel right.
It's just weird.
I think people
understand. I don't want to feel awkward.
I
don't want to feel weird.
If you don't understand, you're the one who's probably weird anyway. But
yes, gotta give Kei Yanagi her props, absolutely. And if she won this, I wouldn't be mad. But
yes, some of the most beautiful fucking cover arts of all time.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm glad that the illustrator got new work too, because I mean, just everything about Kei was just a great character, and I'm glad that we can focus on some of the other ones because I felt like she was going to run away with this category if that didn't happen.
Yep.
So
I do have to mirror some people in the chat right now because my pick not nominated Fuko from Undead Unluck.
Me too. 100%.
Spam
Her
it.
growth
Spam
has
it.
been absolutely fantastic.
She's
a true number one MC, just like Kei Yanagi, right? But like she's actually an actual MC. And we have gotten from Fuko everything. Emotional scenes, comedy scenes, badassery, just everything you could possibly want from a character we have gotten from Fuko in 2020.
And it's just everything you would want from her, things you didn't think you would get
you didn't
from
think
her,
you wanted
you're
them.
getting, right?
Yes.
And things you didn't know you wanted from her, you are getting from her. You know what I mean? It's crazy that and I love that we're talking about Fuko here, even though she's not on the list. I absolutely believe that Fuko should definitely be on here. I feel like 2021.
Fuko was my choice too.
2021 is going to be a way better year for Fuko as a main female character inside of Shonen Jump. So I'm super excited for next year's award show. But yes, absolutely. Read Undead Unluck if you're not already. Come on, man.
And I want to also say another thing because Fuko was on my list too, but it's like how much I love Power and Nobara. It's like they hold such a special place in my heart, and for Fuko to storm on the scene and to fucking rip that title off from him, like that means so much. Like Fuko is like, because it's like to me it was Nobara, like until you start seeing until you start seeing what fucking Undead Unluck's doing, and it's just like
Please
all right, Fuko is the goddess of shonen manga right now. Like
Fuko.
She's gonna be everything that like we hoped from Emma, right? Like I mean, and sure they're different types of characters in a way, but it's like we really had high hopes for Emma as like a female shonen protagonist. And it's like we know Fuko is gonna deliver. We know Tozuka is gonna deliver. Like that's the big difference. It's like with what we have in 44 chapters, whatever it is. Like I'll guarantee you, Fuko will be the best female like shonen protagonist. Just period.
Maybe
history.
And you want to know what? Dude?
Probably ever.
And I've kind of like been talking about it on the timeline recently. There was I made a very controversial tweet that said Mario Leona should have been the main character of Black Clover, and I was like half joking when I said
from
that.
From today's chapter.
I was half joking when I said that. Obviously, the Mario Leona hype drove that tweet, but at the same time, it's like I just want a badass shonen female MC that's a part of a battle series that fits in alongside the other male protags in the magazine and just in the landscape in general. Look at Takemichi inside of Tokyo Revengers. He is a very much a non-combatant in a story where everyone is strong around him. The way that he's handled in that way is amazing, and we don't see that all that often inside of this genre. You go over on the female side of things, it's the exact opposite situation. You get female main characters inside of Weekly Shonen Jump. They're not fighters. They're literally Emmas, Kei Yonagi's, you know what I'm saying? And then now you have Fuko, who's coming in here introduced as, what you think is going to be a damsel in distress character, but obviously turns into a fucking absolute badass. So like that's really fucking cool to see that from Fuko, but just inside of Shonen Jump in general, I feel like there is a very severe lack of strong, physically capable female protagonists. And I hate that the female protagonist role is not shoehorned, but is kind of relegated to you're either shonen protagonist 1B to the 1A character, like an Iori inside of Phantom Seer, or Andy and Fuko even, you know what I'm saying? But like Andy and Fuko and Iori and Aibetsu are situations where it really feels like there isn't one main character and
it's like a dual MC.
They're literally dual MCs, so I like that about both of those. But like I just want a solo by themselves, powerful female main character inside. That was supposed to be
That's the ideal. That's the ideal.
That's why I tweeted like what I did is because I feel like considering that Tabata clearly knows what he's doing with Mirio Leona's character, I would love to have seen, if possible, because Asta just does not do it for me inside of Black Clover. And I'm not saying take the Mirio Leona that we know right now and literally replace Asta with her.
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
saying
You have to have a lot
series
of
over with Mirio Leona, and she can even have a similar origin and character arc, you know what I mean? Like you can keep everything we know about her right now inside of her character, but just take it from the beginning and handle her like a shonen MC, and we would have a way better Black Clover, in my opinion. I understand what Asta represents in Black Clover. I know his role. I understand that he's a vehicle for the overarching theme of the series, and he makes perfect sense as the main character right now. I'm not saying Mirio Leona represents Black Clover better than Asta does. I'm just saying. But
now, how about Noelle? How about Noelle in Black Clover?
So Noelle. So inside of what we've seen in 2020 from Noelle, I can't put her above Nobara or Power.
Personally. Yeah, not in 2020.
Not in 2020. Love Noelle's character as like the.
I loved early Noelle
that gets like all of the character focus and character work. You know what I mean? Like more so than more so than Asta. Kiko, you're muted again. But all I'm saying is that like inside of, or maybe you're. I don't. Yeah, you're still. There's no audio coming in from you.
Yeah. How? No,
he's fine.
You don't hear me?
Still silent.
I hear him. What? What do you mean? I can hear him.
You can't hear either of us, can you?
What?
Oh, now Nick is silent too. Oh wait, maybe
it's you.
Maybe you're only silent for me.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Because I'm seeing you guys ping on the equalizer.
Yeah.
Seeing me ping. All of a sudden, I just lost you guys' audio. That's very weird for me. Yeah. Okay, so everyone can hear all of us, but these two are only silent to me. Okay, so it's a me thing. Let me see what happens if I do this.
What have you done? Can you hear anything?
It's broken.
Meow 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 meow. So in terms of Noelle, while we're sorting things out, I think Knox can mess with this.
He'll figure it out.
Now Noelle, I'm not sure there was much for Noelle. There was the Vanica fight. We did get like a lot of good, remembering her mother, right, who was also like cursed by Spade Kingdom, right, or was it even Vanica that Vanica cursed Noelle's mom, right? Black Clover fans, please correct me if I'm.
That's correct.
Just talking out my ass here, but that was very good. But like, I don't know, like I still would have to. I would definitely pick Power. Like I personally love Power as a character. I just think her 2020 was phenomenal. That like her seeing her character, to see. And like for Kugisaki, obviously like just a great year, like fighting against Mahito and holding her own. The clone obviously like was just very good.
Yeah, definitely. Like Noelle, man, I really liked early Black Clover, and I thought what they were going to do, what Tabata was going to do with Noelle would be more than just like shonen protagonist, like, power-ups, because I feel like sure she gets those, like where a lot of like traditionally in the genre she at least was getting those, and like early in the story you're like, okay, I feel like Tabata's really gonna like give her the time to grow, like in a lot of other ways other than just like power, like actually have character development along with it. And I don't know that I've gotten what I want yet. I think I still can, with Noelle. It's just that, I mean, compared to Nobara and Power, like, no, like,
I think that we should just get through this one here.
I think so too.
Nobara Kugisaki, Power, Noelle Silva, Kei Yonagi from Act Age. The winner is Nobara Kugisaki.
Nice.
Let's fucking go. Okay, so this is how you guys voted, right? So I'll just put it big right away. So Nobara won with 264 votes. Power won with 230, or Power was second with 233 votes. This was very close.
Oh wow, tie.
Yeah.
Tie for third.
Tie for third. Yeah.
That's wild.
Wow, that is wild.
Super wild.
I think people who are able to like separate, the character from the author. That's that's who you're seeing is voting here. Because and that's totally fair.
More power to you, but that's hard for me. Very hard for me.
It's hard for me to do as well. But I was gonna say like it's fair. Like if you just like look at and you just want to remove this, which if you're just trying to look at this just on the category and what this character brought, and you're not looking at the author whatsoever. Like, I don't begrudge people for voting that way.
Actage is top tier, like in terms of like, it was very good. You definitely read it, but it's hard for me to recommend read it because it's I don't want to support that asshole, right? But like,
exactly. But I just want to say I'm very happy for the Nobara W here. I feel like it's very deserving. I feel like I loved Power inside of Chainsaw Man in the year of 2020 because we really didn't know anything about Power. She was introduced as this very like, I don't even want to say enigmatic because it didn't really feel like she was trying to hide anything from anyone.
Right.
She literally was just being herself, and Fujimoto was not giving us exposition on her.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of just like, okay, Power's here, but like I understand what her role is in the story, but like I don't know anything about her. Then boom, we come out of hell, and all of a sudden we get all of this amazing character work for Power, and it doesn't feel weird that someone we barely know anything about all of a sudden is hitting the story with all of this intense character work. That's just Fujimoto Satsuki for you. Inside of Nobara Kugisaki, I feel like what she's shown in 2020 and just what she's shown as a character in general, I'll talk about real quick as far as like how she makes me feel as a female character in the Weekly Shonen Jump landscape right now is crazy because I see main shonen character traits inside of Nobara all the time. I talk about it all the time, how one of the first showings we see of her power, she kills like 50 curses in a room, but then like the last two obviously get to her, you know what I mean? And she's sitting there strung up, you know what I mean? Like she's about to get eaten. She doesn't cry. She doesn't ask for help. We don't get an internal monologue where she's like, please save me, Yuji. Please save me, Megumi.
Right.
She's like, fuck you. I'm gonna remember all your faces and I'm gonna curse y'all when I die. Now what? You know what I'm saying? Then Megumi saves her. Then you go into Origin of Obedience. And obviously, we all know what happens there. Then you go into the Shibuya incident. She has a very underwhelming showing against Shigemo. Everyone says she sucks. She's the new Sakura, yada, yada, yada. Boom. All of a sudden, Mahito fight comes. And all of a sudden, everybody's quiet. No one says, I'm sorry. No one apologizes on the timeline for calling Nobara trash. They're just silent. Nobara gets the W on the timeline. And there's no accountability whatsoever. Of course, with anime Twitter, we can expect that. But I love... just in this panel that I chose of her for this winning slot, the way that she looks, Gege does not care about making her hot at all times. And I just love that about Gege's direction with female characters in their story. We don't always have to use fan service. There are actually no fan service designs inside of Jujutsu Kaisen. All of the females either have scars on their faces or they're in parkas with buttons all the way up. Like there's no titties, you know what I'm saying? There's no ass, you know what I'm saying? You can see Mei's curves through the dress, but like there's no cheeks, you know what I'm saying? There's no under titty, you know what I'm saying? There's no like upskirt shots. There was an upskirt shot. There was a potential for an upskirt shot when she was fighting Mahito and she threw the door at him and then kicked him. But that upskirt view was completely shut down by Gege Akutami. There was no fan service involved whatsoever. And I just love them for that inside of the shonen landscape where it's very easy to go, all right, we have a hot character. Let's get money off that hot character. You just don't see that in Jujutsu Kaisen, especially not inside of Nobara's character, who very surprisingly says, I care about my looks. I care about feminine stuff. I want to be girly, but I will beat your ass at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like that is always going to win for me, even though I love Power as well. But let's get into the winner. The next category. The winner is Nobara, but let's get into the next category, right? So
hell yeah, let's do it.
So first and foremost, I just want to shout out to the chat once again. Thank you guys so much for dealing with our technical difficulties.
Sticking through us.
This is the most that we've ever tried to do on Streamlabs and on Twitch. So I personally was experiencing technical difficulties, user errors, things like that. I think that we've been pretty good so far up until that last hiccup. But thank you guys so much for bearing with us. We still have 70 people inside of this stream. It's been going on for 2 hours. That is crazy. I don't think we've ever seen over 60 people at a time inside of one of our Twitch streams. So I just want to thank you guys out there for following, subscribing, tuning in, what have you. You guys are the best. But let's get in to Best volume covers, okay? Now, this is one that I feel like we can go through pretty quickly. The nominees are Chainsaw Man, One Piece, My Hero Academia, and Jujutsu Kaisen. We've seen incredible covers from all of them throughout the year. My personal pick here, I want to say goes to My Hero Academia, even though I love Jujutsu Kaisen's covers inside of Gege Akutami's volumes. I want to give creativity points, you know, to I want to give creativity points to Jujutsu Kaisen for Gege having such an ugly color palette at base.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then wowing me with that ugly color palette is just amazing. But I feel like objectively, for me, trying to be as impartial as possible, I feel like My Hero Academia gets the win here, even though I loved a lot of One Piece's covers this year as well.
Yeah.
So
you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I will agree that for me, the number one of these options is My Hero Academia. Also, given that like it's comic book, you know, covers, you know what I mean? Like it's throwback covers that they just look so good given that it's a superhero story. But I do have to give a shout out off the list to Jagan, because those volume covers slap so
Jagan's
hard.
Covers are different, bro.
Yes.
Hell
yes. Just had to throw that out there for if you know, you know.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I didn't have a firm choice on this. I really couldn't pick. It was really hard for me. I don't know. Like I've been thinking about this one for a while, and I just wrote no choice because it was so tough. But like the one that doesn't, I'll tell you the one that doesn't, like of the four nominees, One Piece is the one that I don't think. I was the one that the four not. Oh yeah, that's not right.
Yeah. But, my bad.
There it is. But yeah, so of the four panelists, the four nominees, One Piece is the one that's the odd man out. I think the other three were so good that One Piece, it's like Oda ain't got time for all this. Like, you know, Oda got his shit, right? He ain't got a time for all this crazy, innovative fucking cover shit. He don't.
They're standard. Right? Like, they're just here's the characters. They're standard. In a cool pose.
Here's the characters.
Like
Now you get hair colors. That's what you get.
Yes, you get hair colors.
That's what we wait for One Piece volumes for, is so that we can know what color people's hair is, what color their outfits are.
Yes, exactly.
As
so One Piece.
So. Tropic Souls in the chat says, you know, One Piece is the GOAT of color spreads, right? And that's totally
absolutely
accurate. Like best color spreads, One Piece, but volume covers, they're pretty standard.
I didn't do a color spread category for this year, just because I know that there are other color. I know that there are other color spreads. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know who's gonna win?
Right. Like, hopefully by next year or maybe the year after, when like more people are seeing this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can get more diversity in the nominations and things like that. Yeah, then it'll make a little bit more sense to add the color spreads category. But I just felt like that would just be such an easy sweep for One Piece that it was just like not worth it. But
and I can just round off real quickly to say the best volume cover is the Shigaraki cover. That's the most goated cover of all time.
Yeah, I swear to God, bro. I swear to God, that's the best cover ever. The choice for the purple was everything.
Yes, exactly right, exactly. And it's just to see Shigaraki so close up, just laughing maniacally. You
that
get to
wasn't
see
2020
all
though.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't.
Even though, yes, the volume cover is technically released in 2020, even though those chapters are not. And that was another thing I was going to kind of bring
right
up.
on that line. Okay.
Yes, it's like January 4th or 5th or something. And even though those chapters didn't come out in 2020, the volume cover did. Okay. So that was the one. That was the one cover that I was like, if I'm going to just like bring this down to just one cover, that to me, it might be the greatest manga cover of all time. Like,
I love that volume cover. That is definitely in one of like at least top 10. I would have to think about it, but off the top of my head, at least top 10 volume covers that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'll just say Hero. Even though like technically my answer is technically all three tied. Chainsaw Man. So Chainsaw Man's fucking aesthetic on their fucking covers makes you feel like it's a different story than it is.
You just said it so well, bro.
Dude, It's just you feel like if you look at those fucking covers,
yes,
you'll be like, this might be a fun, you know. So
yes.
you get into it and you're like, whoa, wait, this isn't what I thought it was. Based on the cover, you know, you got the fucking Miami Vice color palette coming in, you know.
And see, that's the thing that we talk about on the show is that like inside of things like Undead Unluck, inside of things like Radiant, inside of things like Witch Hat Atelier, obviously the stories are black and white because it's manga. But even though it's black and white, when you're reading these black and white stories inside of Radiant, Witch Hat Atelier, inside of Undead Unluck, it looks very colorful. Inside of Chainsaw Man, you get these very colorful color spreads and you get these very colorful volume covers.
Yes.
Like you were saying, it makes it seem like it's a different story than it is, because when you go into Chainsaw Man and you read that motherfucker, bro, there ain't no color nowhere. It's the bleakest, darkest, most macabre shit that I've literally like ever seen inside of this genre. You know what I mean? So it's really cool to see just what Chainsaw Man does. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot. But inside of volume covers, my personal picks here would either be Chainsaw Man or My Hero Academia, impartially, objectively, whatever word you want to use there. My personal pick, with throwing all that out the window and relying on emotion entirely, I want to choose One Piece just because I love One Piece volume covers. Not just because of like the aesthetic of the cover itself, but just all of the lore you see. You know what I'm saying? Inside of the, like, I just feel the story of One Piece inside of its volume covers. You know what I mean? More so than I feel it anywhere else. But let's get into the winners, though. So, Chainsaw Man, One Piece, My Hero Academia, and Jujutsu Kaisen. The winner of Best Volume Covers of 2020 is, drum roll, please. And the winner is My Hero Academia. Well
deserved.
Very well deserved.
Look at that one.
Yes.
It just slaps.
Yeah, this is the newest one. This is the newest one.
Yeah, the newest one. Yeah, goes hard.
I like the full cover Shigaraki one. Yeah. Like the Shigaraki face one that you posted on the Twitter thread or whatever. That was fire.
Yes, absolutely. Very well deserved here.
Very well deserved.
How it was a very clean sweep. Try to go through these next ones pretty quick here. So nominees, we have Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, Shigaraki from My Hero Academia, Mahito from Jujutsu Kaisen, and Twice from My Hero Academia. So we got 2 My Hero Academia picks on this nominee list. As far as monologues go, I was assuming people, when they were nominating, would say the
which
the monologue that they're talking about. No one really did that, but I can assume that Eren Yeager is the I'm free speech, Shigaraki is the dichotomy of hero and villain speech, Mahito is the Yuji, you're just like me speech, and Twice is the I'm dying, I'm twice, I love you Toga speech. So right, all goated, beyond goated monologues, fam. Bam.
Yeah, definitely.
Bam.
Would you say, I don't know if you're like me, but like there's one missing from the list, and it's because obviously the poll was up before it happened, but Todo, that Todo speech,
bro, I literally just got chills right now from you bringing it up. I think that might be my number one.
We are the exception.
Yes, absolutely. That chapter was literally the best chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen that I have ever read. I said it before in our review. That chapter by itself felt like a whole story. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt like a complete story. If you isolate that chapter, I can't remember what chapter title it is. If Box is here, Box will know because he is the biggest Todo stan there is. What is up, Box? Love you if you're here. Sorry if you missed it. Also, Richie, hope you're here too, and Trey. But that Todo scene was literally Jujutsu Kaisen incarnate for me. Like that was the Jujutsu Kaisen chapter. Like from start to finish, you had Yuji clutching himself like, I'm incompetent, I'm terrible, I'm a mass murderer, blah, 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 blah. All of these negative things. Todo says, hey, buddy, did you forget we're Jujutsu sorcerers now? You know what I'm saying? With just the best rallying speech ever. Then Yuji gets back up. They start tussling. You know what I'm saying? It was just beautiful. And then at the end of the chapter, Yuji is fully realized again. It was so nice. We got all of the things considered. Gege obviously knew that scene was going to be weird for people because Yuji is reinvigorated and ready to fight after taking copious amounts of damage, but we had this amazing Nita save inside of whatever his technique is that stops the damage that you've already taken, or maybe not stopped, but just like chills the bleeding out, you know what I'm saying? Stops them from getting worse. You know what I mean? It's not a heal, you know what I mean? It's not anything like, you know, major. It's just your wounds are not getting any worse. Plus rallying monologue, Yuji is back in the fight. I loved that. But I
bet Eren's gonna win though.
So, Eren Yeager, I feel like should win this. I don't even read Attack on Titan, but I remember when these chapters came out of Eren going crazy in that monologue, fam. When I tell you, I saw the "I'm free" panel more than I saw Kakashi versus Obito on the timeline. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I swear to God, that motherfuckers sharing that panel beat out anime aesthetic accounts on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's nuts. So I'm totally here for that. Twice's monologue was incredible. Amazing send-off for his character. Honestly, if I had a gun to my head, I'd probably choose Twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Twice is
out of all of these
I'll just say right now, Twice is
I would probably choose Twice if I had a gun to my head. I want to say Mahito just because Mahito, to me, that monologue hit so hard because it was literally like the culmination of everything that had happened in the series up until that point. We obviously have Gege Akutami really caring about the relationship between Yuji and Mahito and their growth alongside each other throughout the series. And the fact that, and this goes back to me, you know, comparing My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen, Shigaraki has had all of this time to build up and become this character that we know now. It took us a while, but when we finally realized that Shigaraki is supposed to be a direct, like, juxtaposition, dichotomy, like, parallel, whatever you want to say, to Deku's growth on the opposite side of the spectrum, that's amazing for the story of My Hero Academia. When you get the lore and the history of All for One and One for All, that's amazing. But the Mahito and Yuji relationship has been there from Mahito's introduction. If you pay attention, you know what I mean? And if you pay attention, you could probably see it there inside of My Hero Academia with Shigaraki and Deku too. But it's like really in your face, blatant right away in Jujutsu Kaisen. And the fact that Mahito comes anywhere near Shigaraki's monologue with half the chapters is ridiculous to me. You know what I mean? And it just comes back to what I was saying about how the difference between My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen, in my opinion, I can get everything that I love about My Hero Academia in Jujutsu Kaisen. It is not the same the other way around. I cannot get everything that I love about Jujutsu Kaisen in My Hero Academia. And Mahito being such a brilliant vehicle for the overarching theme of Jujutsu Kaisen, the same way that Yuji is just that relationship and that parallel and that growth throughout their characters throughout Jujutsu Kaisen hits harder to me in such a shorter amount of time than Shigaraki and Deku's parallel. So when we get to the point of these monologues, when Shigaraki is really like, that's what makes us heroes and villains, and Mahito goes, you and me are the exact same. You thought you were going to come in here, exercise some curses. This is going to be another day on the job. No, I can touch you and blow you up. You ain't exercising me like it's another day in the fucking park, bro. You know what I mean? And that was just such a huge moment there. And then Shigaraki has the exact same scene in My Hero Academia with double the chapters of build up to it. So you would think it would be an easy clap for Shigaraki, but like I said, it's very close and it shouldn't be for Jujutsu Kaisen. And that's why I want to say Mahito here, but Twice was just too much, bro. And he died, you know what I mean? So it's like at the end of it, you know what I mean? So like that's huge too. But I think Nick is legitimately frozen right now though.
Yeah, at first I thought he just had a smug look on his face.
Yeah. At first I thought he was judging me for my take, and I was like, Nick,
fuck, you gotta Mahito's monologue. Fuck him.
Yeah, I was like, Nick, you gotta make a different face here, bro. Come on, man, you're killing me here.
Man, he'll come back. He'll come back. But for Twice, man, like it just, I feel like that if I could point to like one thing that like really, man.
No. Someone just said Nickums, pathetic. He totally looks like that. Like, what is he talking about right now? Someone, please screenshot this. Someone please screenshot this right now. Like, we all have memes. We've all been memed, I feel like, except for Nick. So, all right, there. I was waiting waiting for that to happen. Well, I mean, if he's going to be gone, let's just go to the actual whoop here. Boom. So, just me and you now. But,
all right, well.
But yeah, anyway, I don't know. He'll come back. I'm sure he'll be fine. But
yeah, definitely. So, but like for Twice, man, like it's just like if I could point to like one single thing that happened in Hero that just like really like made me realize like I've been at least somewhat wrong about Hero. Like, I don't know. Like, I felt like Twice was the thing. It's just like his interactions, how him and Dobby and fucking Hawks, their whole, you know, their interaction with each other. Yeah. How, like, man, it just hits so hard. Like, Dobby trying to make multiple clones to, like, attack, and then, like, Dobby just burns those clones, like, burns right through the clones to hit fucking Hawks, bro. Like, I don't know, just the whole thing, the whole lead up to it, like, was so hype, and just everything around, like, once Dobby's like, hey, your name's Keigo Takami or whatever, it's like, how you know my name? Like, you know, like, hey, you're back. Hey, we got you. But, like, it was just, like, I felt like the lead up, because it's like when Hawks is like, how the fuck you know my name? Who are you? Right? Like, and I know this is all around, like, this whole situation as well, but it just all culminated well into Twice's end, because it's like Dobby talking about, oh, like, I attacked, you know, Twice. I attacked you both because I know that as a hero, you're supposed to do this. Like, you're supposed to heal him. And then Twice is at the same time like, I need to make everything up for all my failures. Yes. But like Dobby's like, I don't give a fuck about your failures. I'm here for me, you know, and I'm gonna blow your ass up.
We didn't know back then what he was cooking. Like, we had ideas about, like, what he was cooking up.
Yeah, we had ideas,
but like, we didn't know, like, hard confirmation. Like, Dobby doesn't give a fuck, or maybe he does, but like, from what I personally understood from what I was reading, Dobby doesn't give a fuck about none of these people, and he's literally just here to use the platform of all of the war and everyone fighting to expose Endeavor, and it makes sense seeing his behavior leading up until that point, because it's like, man, Dobby, you've been rolling with these motherfuckers for a grip, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should care, you know. But no, it's like, nah. We cool, and we could find out that he does care a lot more about him than at least what it seems like to me now. But it definitely seems a lot more like he was just using them for this moment. And it would be really killer inside of his character for Kohei to say, no, he actually did care about these people and he was fronting. I think that would be great. And it makes sense for Kohei's character writing and his storytelling in general. But as of right now, that scene hit very different just because of all the psychological aspects to what was happening, on top of it being a roller coaster of narrative, you know, effects too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's always just this situation around the monologue really is, you need that. Like, that's the catalyst to, like, why the monologue hits so hard for you. So it's like Twice talking about how I've been duped again. Like, I keep fucking up, bro.
And
like,
we remember without him telling us, we remember his L's, bro.
Yes.
As soon as he brought him up, he's like, I blew it again. And we were like, yep. Again. And you blew it last time with Magna. Yep. And you blew it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you just think about, because
Magna's dead because of you. Exactly. Like, it's like you feel those, like, you feel that feeling going through Twice, and Twice trying to make it up to the rest of his team. Like, man, I fucked up again. I need to just give my life to, like, make it up to these people that finally gave me a place to belong. Like, I've never belonged anywhere in my life, and it's like,
blew it twice. And they motherfuckers died when I fucked up.
Yes,
that's a big deal. It's not like someone got pinched in there in jail and you could save them. No, Magna is dead. She's gone.
Because the biggest thing, the biggest thing that hit for me too is that Hawks is like, you're actually a good dude. You're just unlucky. Like, you've been, you know, in this situation. And then at the end of it, Twice is like, you have no right to call me unlucky. Like, I'm so grateful to have these people in my life. And it's like, I love them so dearly. And I fucked them over twice by me being incompetent and just being a bad villain or a bad, I don't have the mental capacity to make the right choices in these weird fucking very, like, obviously people are trying to trick me and I can't see through it. And I'm just fucking up and over and over again. So I'm trying to make it up to these people. Exactly. And I'm trying to make it up. I'm even trying to make it up to Dobby, who's going to blow a fucking fire blast right through my body to kill Hawks. And that's, and it's like, but I still want to make it up to him. Like, it's just, man, I don't know. Like, Twice, the single, it's like the single most important thing in Hero to me. Like, and it's not, important's probably not the right word, but like, for me to, like, be rejuvenated, you know, in my hero love, like that, man. Hawks,
it's huge for you.
wiping Toga's fucking face with the handkerchief, man. Just there's like fucking 10 different things within that monologue that hits so hard.
That last image of his face melting as he's dying, like with the clone on Toga, is just
his hand melting while he's trying to wipe her fucking, you know, like blood off her cheek, bro. It's like,
So good.
Twice was it for me.
Yeah.
Like clearly.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into the winner.
Yeah.
Nick, I know that you had some technical difficulties. You are back.
You are back.
And I would love to hear your thoughts on things, but I do want to keep it pushing. I know that you have a lot of things that you want to say, especially inside of the Attack on Titan area of things, but motherfuckers that read Attack on Titan know what the deal is, and we do want to get through the rest
I
of
already
these
talked about Attack on Titan earlier in my spiel,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best monologue, Eren Yeager, Attack on Titan, Shigaraki, My Hero Academia, Mahito, Jujutsu Kaisen, and twice My Hero Academia. The winner is, drumroll please.
I'm back for the drumroll. Drumroll.
It is the I'm Free speech.
Yeah, that makes sense. That hit really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely had to be that. Yep. And you want to know what, dude? Like I was saying at the start of this segment, like it doesn't make sense for Eren to not win this. Personally, even though I haven't read it, just from what I've seen of people talking about this monologue on the timeline from them when the chapters came out, it was different. It was just different. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So very
these results are close as hell.
Yeah, absolutely. And you want to know what? I'll throw it up I'll throw it up big. You know what I'm saying? And Attack on Titan should be winning a lot of these, J-Boss. The truth. I just wanted to address that because I saw it just now.
Yeah.
And even though I haven't read Attack on Titan, Nick's opinion means a lot to me, and just the opinions of like my close friends online are all screaming at the top of their lungs about Attack on Titan this year. So I am definitely here for it.
Damn, twice 17%. I'm hurt.
I know that sucks. But that goes back to
that
goes back to what I'm saying about how like casual, like My Hero Academia attracts so many casuals.
Yeah,
and they're so vocal that it's easy for people who have never experienced My Hero Academia, or maybe we're on the fence, to see all of this vocal minority saying the things that they say about it. So they go, okay, this is something that I don't need to think too hard about. You know what I mean? So when you go through the entire series thinking that it's just another generic shonen, and you miss all of the really intense character work and really in-depth storytelling inside of, you know, Kohei's writing, because you think it's, you know, not that deep. So then when you get to this scene, when you've kind of had your brain turned off the entire series, you're going to be like, oh, twice died, he's a fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to hit for you. At least that's kind of like how I see it. But
Sure.
Anywho, we are now moving into Best Comedy. So,
hell yeah.
Best Comedy nominees are Mashal, Mission Yozakura Family, Chainsaw Man, and Spy Family. So, as far as the Best Comedy category, I felt like there was a lot of confusion inside of the nominations for this. I saw a lot of people saying, why is Chainsaw Man here? Whoopie wap wap. Well, this is not best.
Yeah, read the burger chapters.
This is not best like comedy genre.
Yeah, genre.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
This is just what was funny this year. What was the funniest of this year? You know,
most shonen have
burger will all your dreams come true.
Lettuce, bun, you know?
Nothing, because I'm dead. But
head splatter on the ground.
Yeah. But dude, Chainsaw Man was funny as shit this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and obviously, people nominated it into the top 4, so they felt the same way.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people that were like, "What is Chainsaw Man doing here? It's not a gag manga." Read.
Fujimoto can write anything in any category.
Anyway, I don't read Yozakura Family. I don't read Spy Family. I only read Mashal and Chainsaw Man, even though Mashal is the gag manga. You know that, or maybe Yozakura Family and Spy Family are gag mangas too. I don't know, but Mashal seems to be the very popular choice for this one. I personally have Chainsaw Man over Mashal as far as what made me laugh more in this year, even though Mashal came out in this year and it is a tried and true comedy series. The comedy is definitely there, but I don't know why Chainsaw Man just had me crying all year. Like, Mashal is funny to me. Don't get me wrong, Mashal is funny to me, but Mashal is funny to me in the way that like Futurama is funny to me, where I see things happen in Futurama and I go, that's very clever, that's hilarious, but I like don't laugh physically. Like, not even like I don't even smile. But in my head, I'm like, that was brilliant. That was genius. That was incredible. But I don't like bust out laughing. Chainsaw Man will literally have me on the floor after a page turn. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different there for me, but I definitely understand Mashal's popularity in this poll. Definitely know that Spy Family can be very funny. I've seen very funny panels from it.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
How do you guys feel about the nominees, man?
I'm with you because Power running over the Immortal Brother and that whole car shit is among the funniest shit. That's the hardest I think I ever laughed on paper, like reading something in a book. You know, like I don't think I've ever laughed harder in my life.
Yeah.
Like I literally got up and walked away and like had to come back and like collect myself to finish the manga after that shit. Because bro, and it's just like I love Power so much too. Like at the time, and I was just like, this is just peak fucking comedy. Like this man should just write a comedy after once he's done with. Well, now we're doing a part 2, but finish this part 2, the Chainsaw Man Shippuden here, and then write a comedy for me. You know, because like Fujimoto can do it, bro. Like I know he can do it.
Absolutely.
But
How do you feel, Nick?
For me, I will definitely say that Spy Family has had great moments, but I feel like Spy Family is more like a mix of comedy and wholesome and just like great art and great plot and characters and stuff. For me, actually, my comedy of the year, me and Roboco. I mean, like me and Roboco.
Dude, you've been sending panels in the group chat, and I've been
I spam our chat just our private Project Manga chat with panels. I'm every week super laughing at me and Roboco. And so if you're a Jump fan, if you read a lot of Jump and a lot of manga, check out me and Roboco. Right, like it is actually really funny. It's ridiculous, but it's funny.
The references that you send me in the screenshots. Yeah, I'm just like, man, it's like, I didn't even think you'd be able to get away with these kind of things, you know what I'm saying, that they're doing in me and Roboco, you know what I'm saying? Like, you tried this shit over here in the West, you got all types of motherfuckers trying to litigate, you know what I'm saying? But over in the East, it's like, go ahead and take a stab at Shueisa's editorial department inside of the Deadpool manga. Yeah, you can do that. Like, I didn't even know it was like that, you know, but... Anywho, this is one that I feel like shouldn't have a lot of time spent on it.
No, let's just get to the winner.
Very funny. Let's get into the winner. Mashle, Yozakura, Chainsaw Man, Spy Family. And the winner is Nicholas. Drumroll, please. The winner is... Spy Family. Hey!
Well deserved.
Yeah.
If you don't read Spy Family, go read Spy Family. You will not regret it. It is so high quality. You just cannot beat the quality of Spy Family. It is very good.
I've heard. I definitely have heard things inside of our Discord.
I've started it recently. I'm only at like 15 or so, but I'm.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I haven't said anything, but
you didn't say anything. Hell yeah! How are you liking that?
I do. I like it a lot right now.
Yeah. Okay. You could see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I see why. See why. You know. Yeah. I don't have enough under my belt to say, you know, definitively it was ahead of like Chainsaw Man or Mashle for me. But I definitely see why I could win. Definitely.
For those who want to see the big view, we got 579 votes in total, with Spy Family cleanly sweeping poll at 38.69%. With
well deserved
24 votes. Yeah. Mashle coming in closest second at 162 votes. That's crazy to see. And you want to know what? It makes sense. Spy Family's been out longer. It's more established. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mashle has definitely been going crazy. You know what I mean? But I just feel like it shouldn't beat out Spy Family. It's had more time to marinate. It's had, you know what I'm saying? Like more time to establish itself, things like that. But congratulations, Spy Family. And thank you, Ashes, for once again gifting everyone in the chat subscriptions.
Ash is celebrating.
Yes, hopefully it's not too loud this time. Magnus Artifacts.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, cool. So we're cool
there.
Well,
and him gifting subs, like I didn't even know, like Scuba Steve. I ain't seen him in the chat at all. What up, Scuba? If you here, like
up,
you know,
Scuba's here. Scuba's here.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he just got gifted a sub. He just got gifted a sub. Rolling Box, like you said, like I ain't seen Box say shit either. But Box, you know, Mongitis has been with us forever, man. Fuck with him, definitely.
Is the guy, bro.
Definitely. Jeremy Thunderstrikes. Like I haven't seen any of you guys. Yeah. There it is. There's some Scuba. And there's boxes lurking. Shit. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of OGs in here.
Oh, we got two in here. What's up, dude?
Yeah, there we go.
Let's go. Fuck yeah. This is great.
Thank you, Ashes, though. Thanks, Ashes.
Yeah, thank you, Ashes, for gifting everyone subs.
Thank you.
Once again, you're a champion. Definitely. Absolutely. Let's get into best. Oh, wait. Nope. That's not it. Let's get into best. Wait, where are we at? Oh, best villain performance.
Okay,
so this is the one. This is the one. All right, so this is the one that we're probably going to spend a lot of time on. And I know that we've been trying to say that we want to go through the other categories a little bit quicker, so we have more time to spend on things like these. We have kind of not been adhering to this, but Best villain performance. All right, so nominees are Makima from Chainsaw Man, Mahito from Jujutsu Kaisen, Shigaraki from My Hero Academia, and Ryomen Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen. Again, how do y'all feel about this nominee list?
Let me just say, let me just say, not tough. It is Makima by the widest margin possible. Like, it is easy Makima for me. Yeah. For me personally, this is personal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So I just want to say, Makima was my pick too. But Nick, but the explanation that you gave earlier is that's the performance piece. Like, if I'm looking at this as a theatrical performance, I really wanted to put Shigaraki instead. Like, I really wanted to. Like, I felt like Shigaraki, like, his monologues, almost every time he fucking had any words on the page, it felt like he was giving us fucking an actual live performance that I was seeing on stage or something. Like, that's what it felt like.
Says words, it's like he's telling you directly to the reader, this is why you're reading My Hero Academia, because you're waiting for this moment right now where I get in my bag. Here it is.
Yep.
Here it is. This is what Kohei excels in, is his villains. I'd say it all the time. I try to put myself in the studio. I try my hardest to get as close to the mind of the author as I can. I'm sure I fail terribly, but from what it seems like to me in the moment, Shigaraki and just the villainous landscape inside of My Hero Academia feels like something that Shigaraki wrote the series around, not just included. And I feel like because it feels that way, that's why that's why Shigaraki slaps as hard as he does for me whenever he's on screen, or whenever any villains are on screen. But
yeah, it was so hard for me because, like, if I took away the word performance, it's Makima far and away, right?
Yeah.
Like, once we said performance,
sure. That's a good point.
Because
that's a very good point.
Makima always chills in the background. She was an enigmatic figure. Yes. She was someone we were trying to figure out the whole time. She would come in, say some words, confuse the shit out of us, and then leave.
Yes.
And it wasn't until, which all happened in 2020, we got the completion of her character arc, which gave us all the answers that we wanted for so long. But just the fact that she stayed looming in the background of Jump as the biggest question in the magazine for the entirety of that series until we found out what her deal was is massive. And the fact that it was a twist, that she was the overarching villain in the background the whole time, really should win this for her. In my opinion, I'm with you, Nick. I love
That's
Makima
where I give
as
it,
a villain just off GP. I feel like because of how different she is inside of the landscape and just how big of a focus her mystery was inside of Shonen Jump throughout the year, I feel like it's a very easy clap for Makima in that regard. I personally, if it's emotion-based entirely, I want to give it to Mahito again. But Shigaraki, definitely won't argue with that win if that's the case. Sukuna is a situation.
He didn't fit here to me.
I feel like he fits, but he fits in a different way, the same way Makima fits, where you have this very enigmatic figure in the background that you can't figure out, whereas Makima, there weren't like logical routes you could take to figure it out. It wasn't like there was like a finite, you know what I'm saying, like, path where it could be like it's either this, or this. You literally don't know anything about Makima, and you can't even hope to figure it out. I mean, Kiko can because he knows Fujimoto, but like other than that, you know what I mean?
He's like my uncle.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Other than that, now with Sukuna's a very enigmatic figure as well. We still don't know exactly what's going on with him, but he's not the same kind of mystery that Makima was. Inside of Jujutsu Kaisen, since Gege Akutami cares so much about continuity, cares so much about exposition, we know that we'll eventually see what's going on with Sukuna, even though he's very confusing right now. Makima, on the other hand, we did not know for sure if we were ever going to get any information on her. And the fact that that possibility loomed in the background, that uncertainty brought all kinds of conversations to the community for Chainsaw Man throughout this year. And this is probably the craziest award as far as a choice.
It's very hard. It was hard for me because of the word performance. Because it's almost like what do you equate in a performance to? Because it's like if I think of it, if I think of what performance means to me, it means like theatrics and like a lot of what Shigaraki was giving me. It felt like a performance where it's like Makima's performance is almost what she is in what she doesn't say. Right?
Sure.
Her crescendo unmatched. When we finally got everything. it was a little bit less intense for us, I feel like, because you kind of guessed it, Kiko, before we got the information. But for motherfuckers who had no clue and were just waiting to see what Fujimoto wanted to do and weren't trying to analyze it, weren't fine-tooth combing the series, wasn't looking for any piece of evidence they could to figure out Makima, that probably shattered them. You know what I mean? When we found out what the deal with her was. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal. And the fact that we have a complete character arc inside of the nominees, it makes it a lot harder to choose anyone other than fucking Makima. But all of the voting, most of the voting, well, no, all of the voting happened after that twist came in Chainsaw Man. So all of that is there to have been considered before voting. Yeah, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Should we get to? All right. Well, let's take a look at the winner.
Yeah.
I know that we said that we were going to take a lot longer to talk about that, but like, do you guys have anything else you want to say before we reveal the winner? Okay.
No.
All right. Well, Makima, Chainsaw Man, Mahito, Jujutsu Kaisen, Shigaraki, Tomura, My Hero Academia, and Ryomen Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen. There it is. And the winner is Nick. Shigaraki Tomura with the dichotomy of heroes and villains.
Yeah,
man. It like with that, it just sets him.
Definitely.
It just sets it. You know, like, come on, man. It's so hard not to see him in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's very. Let's take a look at the results here. I'm gonna blow it up.
How many times can you be in like this stance with like cackling and laughing maniacally with crazy monologue
and
not win? Right?
Yeah. Ooh, Makima, good showing.
Dude, Makima was second. I love that.
Yeah.
This voting makes sense to me, and I very much so. I mean, I would say I'd put Makima a little higher, you know, but like, if again, the word performance, if I really dial in on that,
sure.
Shigaraki winning this by this much. I mean, maybe not this much, maybe take him down a few points, but still kind of handily winning this. I mean, maybe at like a 38%. Like that's like where I would put him, you know. But like, I mean, I think that very, very well deserved. I mean, look at this fucking panel right here. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, this panel is drastic. Now, when this chapter came out, I almost want to tell people if they haven't seen our review of this chapter, they should go peep it, because I feel like we were going fucking crazy on this chapter, bro. I swear to God, bro. I swear. I feel like decibels did not go below like 50. You know what I'm saying? When we were fucking reviewing My Hero Academia this week, that shit was fucking intense, bro. But let's get back. The awards, our next category after Best Villain Performance is Best Supporting Character. Now, the nominees that we have here are Fushiguro Megumi from Jujutsu Kaisen, Kento Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen, Aki Hayakawa from Chainsaw Man, and Power from Chainsaw Man.
Feels weird to have two stories.
Yeah, two stories, period, for Best Supporting Character, but I feel like as far as what's been shown inside of 2020, it doesn't make sense to have any other four characters on this list of nominees.
I got a different character.
Okay, who is it?
Sagiri.
Oh my god,
with these
bro.
new chapters,
yes, it
with
is.
These new chapters,
yes,
bro.
It is.
Sagiri's like, bro. Sagiri took me to a new. Bro, I mean, hey, for our special grades, you already know that last episode,
for our
bro.
patrons, if you saw the finale of the Special Grade podcast, which will be public soon for those of you who are not patrons, but you guys fucking peep that shit, fam. The newest chapter of Jigo Karaku that we reviewed, heavy Sagiri love. I love that pick, Kiko. That's brilliant. Because I was sitting here, you're like, I got another pick, and I was like, no, you don't. Sagiri.
I know.
Holy shit. It is.
I told you I got like one or two curveballs on my list because like I virtually agreed with the nominees. Like at least somebody, you know, like usually my pick was one of the nominees, but this was that one big curveball I didn't think y'all were going to see coming, and y'all didn't.
I did not see that coming, and you fucking snapped on that. I love Sagiri as a pick, bro. That's amazing.
This
is
bro. Yeah. Go ahead.
This is where, for me, going back to the best female lead, I didn't want to give it to Power, right? But this is where I would give Power the win, right? Best supporting character, right? So you have humor, like a huge amount of humor, which is great for a supporting character.
That's a good point.
But also that, you know, spoiler alert for Chainsaw Man, just for a few seconds here, but like that scene where she's dragging herself to the dumpster, right? And like Yuji was my first friend, and like that whole everything about Power, like Melone, you're just wrong. You're wrong. Power is fucking awesome. She's great, and she is my pick for best supporting character.
I love that. I love that. As far as what we've seen in 2020, I don't know how Power beats Aki in this department. Personally,
that's how I felt too.
Personally, I don't know how Aki beats Power. I love Power as your choice, though, Nick. I definitely don't have anything against what you said. I have no disputes. You know what I'm saying? I just personally can't
Aki was just so good.
Aki was too much. And a lot of these Chainsaw Man picks inside of these nominees, it's going to be tough to not choose Chainsaw Man because we have so much of the story that was given to us inside of 2020 because it's such a short series. So you have entire character arcs finished. You have everything inside of part 1 that is finished at this point. So it's hard not to go best supporting character. It has to be a Chainsaw Man character because we know everything. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. But man, Megumi, on the other hand, and I hope Dancho is watching this right now because I'm about to get in this motherfucking Megumi bag, bro. Because as far as
Megumi's so great
like
too,
Megumi
man,
as a character inside of Jujutsu Kaisen, and a lot of, and I understand this is the supporting character award, and a lot of what makes a supporting character great is how they play off of the main character. And inside of Yuji and Megumi's relationship, even though we've seen them fight together, one specific big time against Inversion. Yeah, against Inversion. Yeah. I don't know if they've really teamed up too much before then because it's mainly been Yuji and Nobara team ups and then Yuji and Toto team ups. So it's cool as shit that Megumi is like secondary to Nobara in their relationship to the main character as far as like raw time spent with each other. That's really fucking cool. But like, I feel like you don't see that too often, but like Megumi just as a character in the year of 2020 inside of the Shibuya incident arc has just been mind-blowing to watch, especially since obviously he's getting a little bit less focused than Yuji, you know what I mean? And Gojo, obviously, you know what I'm saying, who's really the main character of Jujutsu Kaisen. But like when it comes down to it, you know what I'm saying? Megumi is really not there as often as Nobara is. But when Megumi is on screen, he's doing things that really show you why it's fun to read Jujutsu Kaisen. I go to Jujutsu Kaisen for a lot of reasons because it hits on a grounded, you know, personal level in a lot of ways as far as like the death themes and shit like that. For me personally, Jujutsu Kaisen is hitting in a lot of areas effectively. But as far as Megumi goes, as a supporting character, where there's kind of a rivalry established there because there was that one scene between Yuji and Megumi where they said that they wanted to be better than each other, but it's never really been revisited. It was never talked about before that. So you can't really call it like a tried and true rivalry. And even though it is, like, they're not really in competition with each other. Like, they're just trying to figure out how to be Jujutsu Kaisen sorcerers at the same time. So like, yes, that rivalry is there because it's dude shit, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not really trying to beat each other in anything. No. It's just words of encouragement. I'm going to be the strongest. Well, I'm going to be stronger than you. All right, cool. Let's go back to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really all it is. It doesn't feel like a Yuno and Asta. It doesn't feel like a Naruto and Sasuke. It doesn't feel like a Kazuma and Ryuho. If for any S-Cryed fans out there, and if there are any S-Cryed fans out there, holla at you.
Brought that shit back.
You know what I'm saying? Because nobody talk about that shit. But anyway.
You don't want this alter juice right here, bro?
Megumi is my second pick. I choose Aki.
Yeah, see, it's wild because like for the entirety of the two stories, especially since we're only looking at two stories, I would say it's Megumi overall, right? Like of the story, but like for 2020 it's Aki, right? To me, because Aki has just been it's just so impactful. You can't have the snowball scene without like all of the like lead up to it, bro. Like you can't, like that snowball scene hits so hard, like I mean, but Megumi in general is, I feel like how you write a number two fucking, protagonist, whatever.
They're not obsessed with the main character, but they still fuck with the main character enough to see them together often.
Wild motivations of your own that have nothing to do with Yuji or anything that Yuji will ever have to do. Like his whole character has like literally 0% to do with Yuji. Like, thank you, please.
Yeah, like, that's in fact, he's on his own character journey trying to figure out what's going on with his family.
Yes.
And there's no like underlying like weird like teen angst tension between them. You know what I'm saying? Like Gege Akutami very much so feels like they're taking a very deconstructionist approach to this story, trying to say, okay, this is what you expect from a shonen story, or we're going to spin that in reverse, turn it on its head, throw it out the window, pull it back in, beat it up a little bit, and then throw it back out the window again. You know what I'm saying? Like it's and I love when shonen stories do that, because I feel like there are enough traditional shonen stories, you know what I'm saying? And especially inside of a landscape where it feels like these mangaka are trying to reinvent things, trying to redefine things, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of the reason why Black Clover feels underwhelming a lot of the time in our analysis, because it feels like more of a reconstruction of the genre amidst all the deconstruction happening around it. But not to say anything bad about Black Clover, but just like as far as how deconstructions work, I feel like whenever I personally see that, that is what I am all about. And that extends to the characters, not just the narrative. And inside of this rivalry or this male protagonist duo that we have inside of Yuji and Megumi, just the fact that it's handled so differently than what we've seen so far. And like also feels like home at the same time. It's very weird what Gege Akutami is doing inside of the landscape right now. But Megumi and Aki are my top two. I choose Aki with a gun to my head. What do you guys?
For 2020, it's Aki on this list. But overall, to me, it's still Sagiri. Like number one pick for me is Sagiri. But like, if I had to pick something, if I had to pick a nominee, it's Aki.
All right. And we could talk about Nanami too, but let's just, for the sake of time, let's just keep it pushing.
Yeah.
We know what it is with Nanami. But I really,
fantastic
I really think that he's just bottom.
Just pour a little out for your
buddy.
Yes.
He's obviously bottom of the list.
I'll pour a little into my mouth.
Let's get into the winner. So, Fushiguro Megumi, Jujutsu Kaisen, Kento Nanami, Jujutsu Kaisen, Hayakawa Aki from Chainsaw Man, and Power from Chainsaw Man. The winner is Nick. Fushiguro Megumi.
Yo!
Let's go!
Nice one.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Here's the results. It was a lot closer than I thought it would be, but still kind of a clean sweep in favor of Megumi.
This is, I guarantee this is people looking at the entirety of the story instead of 2020.
Sure.
Megumi
absolutely.
really didn't get that much. I mean, he got Genma Maharaga and like some stuff around it, but
and
like,
we got a lot of
and some
setup for
inversion
2021.
stuff.
We got a lot of setup for 2021. Exactly, and that's why I personally would have went Ayakawa or Aki Hayakawa here, just because, like I was saying earlier, his character arc is literally finished. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to really analyze him as a character in a way that feels more fulfilling to give him the W here, because his character arc is done. So is Nanami's. Nanami's character arc is finished as well, and I'm very surprised that he got second here. And I feel like a lot of that is recency bias inside of his death.
Yeah.
But as
and
far
maybe
as
anime too.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of these votes came in like, 2 weeks ago, but like maybe anime played a part, because I mean Nanami's slapping in the anime, boy. And he's pretty as fuck. As pretty as we always knew he was.
One of the
takes
prettiest
glasses
people
off,
I've ever seen.
He's
crazy.
Thank you, Matt. I can't be mad. Megumi, I think, is how you do a number 2 character, perfectly perfect, and that's can't even be mad.
I agree. Shout out to Dancho. Dancho, you won. Big W for Dancho.
Yeah.
Shout out to
just created a bunch of different Twitter accounts to vote more than once.
What if it was all Dancho alts? Holy shit. Well, shout out to Megumi and Dancho. That was incredible. Let's move on to this one. Before we go into this, shout out Malone, shout out Yato, shout out Bariqua Mihawk, shout out Aniki Smash FSP, shout out Big Schnooty, Shonen Schnooty, Call of Schnooty. You know what it is. It's Undead Unluck time. We're going into
Schnooty.
Best new series in this motherfucker.
Rookie of the year.
You almost can't say Undead Unluck without mentioning Schnooty.
Our nominees are Phantom Seer, Mashal, Burn the Witch, and Undead Unluck.
Just stop. Please stop.
Y'all know how we come in.
Mashal is solid number 2. Mashal is solid number 2 here, I would say.
Yeah, but like a number 2, like the presidential voting, right? Like it's like number 2, sure, you're second, but like only because you had to be, right? There was no other
You're
choices.
second, but you did only because you competed.
Well,
yeah, exactly right.
We all know how we're voting here, so I feel like we don't need to talk about these nominees too much. A couple things that I do want to say is that Rookie of the Year is undoubtedly Undead Unluck in our opinion.
Not close.
In Project Manga's opinion, Undead Unluck wins here regardless of the results. Burn the Witch, I read the first chapter. I don't care. Kubo Tite, you won't make me care. Mashal, I love you as a new series.
I don't hate
can't
Burn
beat
the Witch,
Undead
man.
Unluck. Burn the Witch is fine. I'm just fucking around.
I
was just trying to get to Schnooty. Phantom Seer. Now, Phantom Seer...
It's good for where we're at, right? It's great for where
so
we're at.
good. But I really wish Kaiju 8 was here instead of Phantom Seer. In my opinion.
Yeah. Kaiju
or I'm sorry. Instead of Burn the Witch.
Yeah.
Kaiju 8 belongs here.
And I know that I was talking about Phantom Seer. What I really wanted to say is that Phantom Seer is an incredible new series. I love everything about it. I don't have very many complaints at all, besides the complaint that everyone knows that I had in the chapter where I assumed that the series was getting axed. Based on what we saw, I'm very...
I bet you come out. I'm endgame. I bet you.
Yeah, listen. I said that shit. Motherfuckers was in my mentions going crazy on some fuck you type shit that I ain't never seen before for a take that I put online. And you want to know what? I don't care. If that shit gets axed, whatever. I love Phantom Seer, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to Yuma the situation and go, it has to get axed. I hate everything about it. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love Phantom Seer, but
what are we doing here talking about Yuma on our podcast?
I'm just I totally did just name drop somebody. I never do that unless it's positive. But fuck you, Yuma, if you're watching. Anyway, Phantom Seer is great. I don't think it beats Undead Unluck here. I don't think it beats Mashal here. Sure, it can beat Burn the Witch for all I care, but Undead Unluck is the true winner in my opinion, and I think that we should just go straight to the winning results.
Let's do it. Let's go straight there.
I don't think we need to really talk.
Which, if it isn't Undead Unluck, I'm going to just throw my PC off the balcony.
And the winner of Best New Series 2020. Let's hope that Kiko does not have to destroy his computer. Drum roll, please, Nick.
Please. Very expensive.
And the winner is Undead Unluck!
We did it! We did it, baby!
We did it. We fucking did it.
I really want to just thank Abraham Lincoln for this. Abraham Lincoln's been putting it down, for a long time, since, I don't know, 1840 something, and our good buddy Pinkerton Victor fucks with him. So my man's Abraham Lincoln is who to thank for this.
Let's go. You know what it is.
This is special grade podcast one day.
This is so well deserved. This is honestly. Like the first chapter, you're like, okay. Yeah. Second chapter, you're like, all right. And then when chapter 10 hits, you're like, oh damn. And then by the end of this year, this has been the craziest first year of any manga, I bet. Like ever. It's so dense. It's so great. It's so good.
Here's the thing about here. I'm so proud of the voters for giving Undead Unluck Rookie of the Year, because if it didn't win Rookie of the Year, you would have seen a very different Noxie on this show. But
you wouldn't have seen any Kiko because my computer would be out there in the
woods. But this was great. You know what I'm saying? And as far as like the rookies go, Mashal.
Great.
Mashal is incredible.
Bad you could say. Exactly.
All
nothing bad you could say about
are
Mashal.
Going so crazy right now.
And is a contender in another category that we have coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. But like Undead
in my mind, not actually, but
Undead Unluck is something where I feel like there's a lot of people that might be watching this right now, especially when this goes to YouTube, where a lot more eyes will see it. People are probably going to be like, what the fuck is going on here? Mashal is GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Burn the Witch, whatever.
Mashal's great.
They're like all of these, are great. Burn the Witch is probably great for all I know. I just don't care. But like, as far as
it's fine, it's fine.
It's only like 4 chapters. It's so weird to have it in any of these polls. Right. So weird.
Now, with anything else that I don't read, if this was Attack on Titan, if this was Kingdom, which I'm not caught up in, but I still do read. If this was literally like anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be like, all right, Nick, or trusted constituent, friend, cohort, how do you feel? You know what I'm saying? And then you tell me, and I'm not saying that I'll just blindly trust whatever you say, but like there's a little bit more stake in the game than just like, Kubo Tite is coming out with Burn the Witch. Like, all right, I'll be back. I'll let you know when 1,000 Year Blood War is adapted, and I'll start talking about Kubo Tite with you again. You know what I'm saying? But like Burn the Witch, I don't care about the West Side of fucking Soul Society personally, but but Undead Unluck. There's
Undead Unluck.
And I'm sure a lot of people are like this is what I have to say to people who have not read Undead Unluck, don't want to read Undead Unluck. You're probably looking at this win here. You're probably looking at everyone gassing it up. You probably read the first couple of chapters and like, this isn't for me. This is gross. I did the same thing.
Yep.
So if you did that and you're seeing Undead Unluck win Rookie of the Year here right now, you're probably going, these motherfuckers are just into weird shit. That's all this is. No, motherfucker. Go read this shit. This is not just a niche. This is not just a niche series that is very weird, that people might not like, that random people, Noxie, Kiko, and Eagle, just so happen to like, and all of their friends do too. No, this is not that situation. This is an actual masterpiece. Please go read this. Yeah. And that's all I have to say.
It's the most innovative story I've ever read in 100%. The first year of its lifetime, hands down. Period.
Best start I've ever seen to a series inside of this magazine. Period.
Yeah.
Well, that's different, I guess is the word that I should say. Best, I don't know, because Death Note and Promised Neverland had two of the best starts I've ever seen inside of weekly.
Sure. Yes. Promised Neverland was very strong in the beginning.
But Undead Unluck is different. Undead Unluck is different. Go read Undead Unluck. Let's go on to the next category.
Yes.
Next, we have Best Fight.
Again, let's just get out of here.
Nominees are Shigaraki versus the Heroes in the Paranormal Liberation Front War arc.
That's cool. That's definitely tight.
Yuji versus Choso inside of the Shibuya incident. Denji versus Aki inside of Chainsaw Man.
Also goated, though.
The Asta and Yami team up versus Dante inside of the Spade Infiltration arc. So, how do you guys feel?
Man, as much as I think the Snowball fucking shit is such a masterpiece, and Aki versus Denji deserves to be so highly rated of any fucking more. You got to look at it as more than just a fight. Honestly, it does other things for you other than just a fight. But Yuji versus Choso is the greatest fight of all time to me. Like one of at least like top 5 shonen fucking fights I've ever seen, read ever in my life. So it's like, what am I supposed to do here? Like Yuji and Choso just is god tier, and it just should be free, and we shouldn't even have had this. Let's just skip this one too.
As far as best fight goes, so as far as Yuji versus Choso goes, so you have fights inside of My Hero Academia, Shigaraki versus the Heroes. It's obviously a very epic war arc going on right now.
Yeah,
that fight is insane. Asta and Yami versus Dante is crazy for Black Clover. Denji versus Aki is something that I want to call like a cinematic, like hats off to like movie buffs. You know what I'm saying? Fucking like like Fujimoto is just doing things differently everywhere. Not just some places, a lot. Literally everywhere. You know
across the board.
This is the definition of a deconstruction. So when you get into probably the most emotional fight inside of this battle shonen that's already being handled wildly different than anything you've seen before, obviously this is going to be one for the history books. And inside of Aki versus Denji, you get all types of visual storytelling, metaphors, symbolism that you don't see anywhere for any reason, because it's Fujimoto. It's not just symbolism, it's not just metaphors and storytelling. It's literally, this is Fujimoto you're looking at right now. You know what I mean? And that was the rawest Fujimoto Tatsuki that I feel like we've seen in Chainsaw Man, was inside of that Aki and Denji fight. That fight legitimately made me feel like, not only does this feel like a movie that I'm reading right now, but also it feels like this is like a significant moment in Fujimoto Tatsuki's life that he's representing in this scene. Like this feels like this author, like this is, there's real life elements inside of this, is what it feels like to me. I don't know Fujimoto Tatsuki. I mean, Kiko does, but I'm sure he doesn't want to share too much.
I'll call my uncle later. I'll ask him.
Let me know, at least for me. We don't have to go public with it, but at least DM me and let me know what Fujimoto says. Because I need to know if he experienced something like this in his real life, because this is crazy. And the fact that like you can make me feel like, I've looked at a lot of fight scenes and a lot of things, Western comic books, sci-fi, cyberpunk novels, science fiction, like, you know, short stories, comic books, manga, whatever. Don't give a fuck. We have read a shit ton of fights inside of our shonen-centric career, hobby, whatever you want to call this.
Yeah.
Right.
We're 30 years old. We've reading this shit for a long time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We read a lot of fucking shit, bro. It's not too often that I see a fight between two characters in a shonen story that makes me go, what is this person's real life like? Like like there's been moments that make me think that inside of Fujimoto's storytelling when it's not action based, like when it's characters interacting, when it's exposition,
definitely.
like all types of shit. I'm wondering what's going on with the author whenever Fujimoto is doing anything. But like rarely inside of a fight do I think about what the author's real life is like because of a fight scene. You know what I mean? So Aki versus Denji, I feel like has to win here, but Yuji versus Choso, technically, as far as technical application goes inside of this genre, inside of the Weekly Shonen Jump landscape, as far as what I remember throughout my time experiencing it, Yuji versus Choso is the best shonen fight that I've ever seen. Like that and Netro versus Meruem are like top two. You know what I mean?
So my two big points for Yuji versus Choso, right? One, you remember that panel where Choso had like the blood knife and he stabbed Yuji's foot like four times, and every single slash, every single stab, you could see every single one happening. It was just like four actions in one panel, just phenomenal, tremendous.
Yes.
That,
and we see that a lot. I feel like in manga after images with like the starting and finishing motion all happening on one panel, but when Gege does it, it's different, bro.
The other big one was when Yuji was like, "I know my role now." You know what I mean? You remember that line? Like that just hit so hard when he was like, "I'm dying, but I know what I'm supposed to be doing here. I'm supposed to stop this motherfucker from you know what I mean? Like ooh, that stomp.
Yes, the stomp. I know my. So this is why Choso and Yuji wins for me, is because inside of this fight, isolated from everything that's happening in Jujutsu Kaisen, isolated from anything that's happening inside of Weekly Shonen Jump, you have a fight where, let's see if I can explain this properly. So you are learning things about Choso and Yuji back to back throughout the entire fight. Choso is such like a character that you didn't think you would ever care to learn. And like, obviously he looks cool. He's a part of the villainous organization. You're like, I want to know more about him. But like when I saw Choso at first, I was like, I want to know what he can do physically. I want to know what his powers are. How does he fight? That was all of the curiosity that I had, because this is a villain on the main antagonist group that I don't know anything about.
And the other ones are so interesting too. There was that too.
But with Choso, I'm just like, okay, we're gonna get some Choso focus. We're gonna see how he fights, and that's gonna be cool. But no, we got Choso the character from start to finish in this fight. And it didn't feel like I was just learning something about a character that was just a guy who was there until we got focused on him. You know what I mean? It felt like once we started learning about Choso, that this was a character that I always wanted to know everything about character-wise. You know what I mean? I didn't know that before Gege started showing me that this character mattered. Before, it was just show me what your powers are. After the fight, it's like, this is one of my favorite characters in the series. So it's cool that we get not only just, we're learning about Choso, we're getting amazing character development for his character. We're learning more about Yuji. Yuji is growing and learning throughout the course of the fight. You know what I mean? So there's all of these themes that are being juggled throughout this fight. It's a very meathead fight because of the choreography. You want to say, obviously, Gege's bag is choreography. They can draw and write the shit out of a combat sequence. But this fight does so much more than so many other 1v1 fights. I feel like this is the premier 1v1 fight since Hisoka versus Crollo.
Yeah.
Period.
Hey,
inside of Weekly Shonen Jump, this is the best 1v1 fight that we've seen since Crollo versus Hisoka. Now, at the same time that was going on, what else were we getting? Katakuri versus Luffy. So, like, when you think about that, Katakuri versus Luffy is the best 1v1 fight we've seen in One Piece since Luffy versus Lucci. You know what I mean? Arguably.
Sure. Yeah,
and
you
that's,
can argue, but
and motherfuckers have been waiting 10 plus years for this fight from Luffy since Lucci. So that's crazy. The fact that fight is being compared to, what the fuck? Crollo and Hisoka. Crollo and Hisoka. At that time when Hunter x Hunter's been out of the magazine for who knows how long on hiatus. So you have those like juxtaposed like closely to each other. And then for Choso, now Hunter x Hunter, Crollo and Hisoka, that's been built up forever. We've been wanting to see that tried and true 1v1 forever. Yeah. So we've wanted to see that, and Hunter x Hunter hasn't been giving us. Yeah, Hunter x Hunter hasn't been giving us shit. I'm going somewhere with this. So Hunter x Hunter hasn't been giving us shit for years, and then we finally get that at the same time that Katakuri and Luffy is happening, right? Which is what we've been waiting for like 10 years inside of One Piece, and like those are the two 1v1 fights that like stick out to me in the last 10 years. And then Yuji versus Choso, brand new story. 100 fucking chapters in, Yuji versus Choso, best 1v1 fight arguably compared up there with those two. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Nuts, it doesn't even make sense like on paper, right? Like when you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't know. The Shigaraki versus the heroes, obviously that's very epic in scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but 1v1s are always going to hit different.
1v1s are going to hit different, period. But war arcs also hit different. You know what I'm saying? So when you have everyone versus this overwhelming opponent, the uncertainty inside of the Paranormal Liberation Front War is what carried it for me throughout its course. I did not know at any point in time how the heroes were going to win. I still don't know kinda how they're going to win. It looks to me, as far as what we're seeing in My Hero Academia right now, that the villains are going to bounce. A couple of them are going to die. Twice is dead. Compress is like on his way out, so to speak, as far as what we can tell. You know what I mean? Like Shigaraki's fucked up. So we see huge loss on the villain side to where if they do retreat here, it doesn't feel like, oh, what was all of this for? Because we have huge losses on both sides. So it does feel very much like a war arc. The Shigaraki versus Endeavor, Deku, you know, Aizawa and everyone that was present is definitely very epic for those reasons. But the Yuji and Choso fight, just in how personal and intimate that 1v1 encounter was, how much we learned about both characters, how much we learned literally, like, it was literally like perfect. Like everything about Jujutsu Kaisen was in that fight. We learned more about the energy system. We learned more about the characters involved. We got growth from Yuji. We got development for fucking Choso. We got one of the best fights we've ever seen in the magazine in the last 10 years, easily. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got to say something real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're trolling, but I feel like we got to ban Seamus and Malone here with the fucking four tricks and Hamlet talk. We might have to ban them.
I've been seeing Hamlet. Oh my God, I forgot Hamlet was a One Piece character. I've been seeing motherfuckers say Hamlet like all night. And I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway.
Hey, I know you're trolling, but don't get banned with that. Come on, man. Four Tricks and Hamlet, literally two of my least favorite characers of anything I've ever seen in my life.
Anything, not just One Piece, of anything.
Exactly, and I know Oda does that on purpose, but man.
Well, let's get the winner here. Let's get the winner here.
Yes.
There we go. Anyway, fucking accidentally like popped my shit out. Let's get to the winner.
Oh no.
Here. Let's get to the winner here.
Yeah.
So, Shigaraki versus the heroes inside of My Hero Academia, Yuji versus Choso inside of Jujutsu Kaisen, Denji versus Aki inside of Chainsaw Man and Asta, and Yami's team up versus Dante. Actually, we got to talk about them. Come on.
We do have to talk about that.
We have to talk about Asta and Yami versus Dante. So this was cool. This was great. Choreography-wise, it was brilliant.
That was the hype of the whole thing. The choreography,
the choreography,
the art.
Yes, the
tremendous.
The art inside of that fight was great. I personally did not feel the stakes of that fight personally, so it doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Because it was a build-up fight, right? At the time, you know, you might have thought like, oh, is this the shit? But like, no, we're going to get a whole nother round of this, you know, in the next arc, or in the next, you know, chapters or whatever. So like, it makes sense, I
do want to take my hat off to Tabata for actually getting Yami out of here at the end. That was very unexpected. I definitely thought, especially with like I don't want to say biases against Black Clover, but just like I've been going on a couple diatribes like leading up until this, where I've like really been like, I don't know.
Who hasn't?
Where I've literally been like, I don't know what I'm still doing here. I don't know if I really enjoy Black Clover like that. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And seeing, you know, Asta and Yami pull out this W was definitely hype. I love seeing them fight together. Whenever Yami is involved, Black Clover is the best for me, just because that's who I want to see in Black Clover. You know what I mean? So like, that's cool. I love that for that. But like compared to everything else on the list, I just feel like everything else has so many things that we didn't get inside of the Asta and Yami confrontation. So like Denji and Aki, brick of scores, no complaints.
Yeah, but Nick nails it on the head is that for a fact that no matter what happens in the fucking Asta Yami team up versus Dante, it's not conclusive in any way. So like no matter what, that automatically takes it out of the running because okay, sure, like Yuji versus Choso, like we know Yuji's not going to die because he's the main character.
But it was a complete fight. It's done.
Yes, exactly. And the way that Gege handles stakes in their series, it doesn't matter that Yuji wins or loses because there's going to be so many other things that go along with it. Where it's like, it was surprising to me that Yami and Asta win the fight, and then Xenon has to come in and like finish Yami off and take him away. That's the peak part of the whole fight.
You got to admit that was hype as hell. That was very hype.
That's what made the fight for me because like if Yami and Asta just beat Dante and then like Dante gets picked up and brought back to the crib and then like that's it. I would have been like,
that would have been like very bad.
What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I would have been like, it's cool that we saw Yami and Dante like do the thing, but like it raises so many more questions narratively that like make me feel like I don't care about what's happening. But the fact that Xenon comes in at the end and says, you guys won, but like we're going to grab Dante and we're going to take Yami and you can't do anything about it. And I'm like overwhelmingly, more powerful than you. And it's very obvious in the scene that none of you can do anything. Like, that's great. Even though I'm still don't feel like Yami is in any kind of like mortal danger, you know what I mean? Like that still was just great for that moment for me. You know what I mean? It brought it all together. You know what I mean? But I don't think that it holds a candle to any of the other fights on here. Even though the choreography was everything, the hype was everything with Yami and Asta.
Right.
Like personally, I didn't care much.
If Dante didn't look like the Jack of Spades when he transformed, like there would have been he might have get a little higher on my list. But that belt and those boots and shit.
About the aftermath of that fight than I do the fight itself. It's not even funny. Yeah. And it should be the fight is everything, and then holy shit, the aftermath. No, it's the fight was meh, and then the aftermath makes the fight better. You know what I mean? That's why it loses to the other three, in my opinion. But let's get into the winner.
Yep.
And the winner is, drumroll, Nick. Yuji versus Choso, baby!
Yes. I mean, like I said, just skip the category. Like
we did it.
It should have been free. I mean, okay, the only reason it's not free is because Denji versus Aki. And that was, to me, like... It's Shiggy versus a bunch of heroes is cool and it's tight and you're hyped for it, but it's just like this is just like preamble for like what's really about to happen. So like as tight as it is, you're just like this isn't. They just don't hit like those other two fights. Like that's right. And wow, look at that pie chart.
Look at it.
That's very fucking close.
It's pretty fucking close, dude. Look at how close the bottom three are.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Denji versus Aki being the bottom, even though it's still got a lot of votes for being a bottom, means that people aren't turning their brains on when they're reading. Like, y'all really got to turn the brains on a little bit reading Chainsaw Man, because it's man, what do you mean bottom? How dare you?
But I would say because it's like it's not only a fight. It's not only a fight. It's also hugely an emotional dive deep into Aki,
and
right?
If you want that to be more emotional. Go reread that fight, but then like turn on pumped up kicks in the background as you read that fight. And
the young kid pumped up.
You better run.
Oh no!
Outrun my gun. It is. All right. Well, congratulations, Yuji versus Choso. We all knew how that would go, kinda. But at least I
way closer than I thought.
It's what I wanted anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's get into best spreads, best double page spreads, right? So this is best art inside of a 2-page radius.
Yes.
I'm sure you all know what double spreads are.
If you don't, why how'd you get here?
Yeah. Our nominees are My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, Chainsaw Man, and One Piece. How do you guys feel?
Let me go real quick. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Fine.
No.
Mine will be quick because I have something that's not on this list, which is almost criminally fucking. It's almost offending to me that fucking the GOAT One Punch Man, fucking Yusuke Murata doesn't like the 2-page spreads and fucking One Punch Man shit on all these, and I don't give a fuck.
Diversity inside of this nominee list. It's not even funny.
Like. Bro,
this is where we should have seen things outside of Shonen.
The newest chapter of fucking One Punch Man with fucking Garo. Like, I will be the very incarnation of despair while eating shit. Bro, like, you kidding me that fucking One Punch Man's not on here?
But it's also, wild. At the same time...
I ain't saying that just because I'm bald, neither.
Well, quantity is definitely quality is definitely over quantity. But and no one is touching Yusuke Murata.
One Punch Man has won every chapter,
yes,
every single chapter.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But a lot of stories have won every single chapter. It's more so as far as quantity goes. Undead Unluck has been dropping 6 fucking double spreads a chapter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So as far as volume goes, Undead Unluck is doing some other shit. And you want to know what? There are some other manga in Shonen Jump that I feel like are going crazy in double spreads lately too. That I can't remember.
Kaiju number 8.
Kaiju number 8. There it is.
Bro, Kaiju number 8 on a plus, bro. Kaiju with the double slapping, spreads. Bro.
But as far as sheer volume goes, I feel like Undead Unluck is doing a lot for only 40 something chapters. But Yusuke Murata, Boichi, if they're doing double spreads, they should easily win this. The fact that Yusuke Murata and Boichi are not anywhere on this list, and I understand that people give Dr. Stone shit for
the CG,
not the C. Well, inside of that same token, it's he takes pictures and then adds drawings on top of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the double spreads where he doesn't do that, stop playing with me. Get the fuck out of here. You're an idiot. If you think that he shouldn't be in the top 4, fuck you. Yusuke Murata and Boichi should both be up here. I understand that we're a very Shonen Jump centric channel, and that extends to our community. You know what I mean? So I've been saying this entire stream, we should hopefully in future years see a lot more diversity, but it was very painful not seeing more non-Shonen Jump. I feel like it should be all non-Jump nominees here.
Another one I want to nominate here as one not on the list is Jigan again, right? Jigan had so many amazing double spreads of just huge action sequences of just amazingly drawn energy blasts and shit. It is just really good. But my pick of the 4 here is actually One Piece, because the One Piece double spreads, they just hit different. You know what I mean? It's not just a really, really well drawn action sequence, one punch kind of thing. It's a huge deep dive into this world, this completely manufactured world of this island. Say all these
gives you geography.
Yes. Onigashima, all these things in Onigashima, just the island itself, or it hits so hard and. Yeah, so that is my pick of these 4.
I got one more sleeper pick I have to throw in, and I really have to do it. Is Akamatsu Ken UQ holder. And I know.
Oh my God, yes, bro.
UQ holder 2-page spreads. Akamatsu Ken is unmatched too. I'm telling you.
Akamatsu Ken's line work is the best line work that I've ever seen in manga. And what I mean by line work is that go through UQ holder, not Maho Sensei Negima, not Love Hina, not anything from before UQ holder. Go. You don't even have to read UQ holder. Google search UQ holder and go through the image results and let me know. Me personally, find a broken line anywhere in that in any of the art that you see in UQ holder.
No, you won't.
Ken Akumatsu's line work is literally perfect. He wants it to be perfect on purpose. There is not, and I understand that you can strategically break a line,
right,
in a way that is the art doesn't suffer for it. You know what I mean? Manga as a medium has already established broken lines as a thing. You see broken lines and everything, but more so in the East. Not a single broken line in Ken Akamatsu's work in UQ holder. I'd be looking for it, bro. Peep UQ holder. Anyway, as far as what are we on? Best double spreads, right? So I don't know. I kind of already got into my bag about how I feel like this should not be Shonen Jump heavy inside of the nominees, but inside of the nominees, you want to know what my pick is? It's nothing on the nominee list. It's fucking Radiant, bro. Radiant's fucking double page spreads.
Panzu's going crazy on
it. Do I need a mute?
Panzu's going crazy. No, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, no spoilers,
but I'm just going to throw an honorable mention out there. Panzu, Yato, Radiant is my pick for best double spreads in the year of 2020.
That's wild. I'm so ready for it.
Yeah. You actually, in the last read through that you did, you saw one of my favorite double page spreads when Set is coming out of the training with Mir.
Ooh.
And he's got the fucking energy of every living thing swirling around him, and he's like, I get it now. Yeah, when you get that, and he looks at his shit, and he's like, I understand nature. You're like, I have chills right now. Anyway.
I have chills right now.
Anyway. Read Radiant, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, Chainsaw Man, One Piece. I don't think we need to talk about it too much more. Nick, hit me with the drum roll. We're going into the winner. The winner of Best Spreads 2020 is My Hero Academia, and this is well deserved. I'm not mad about this, and I wouldn't have given My Hero Academia this W personally under any circumstance, but 2020 has been a bang out year. Okay, and we back for what is the last break that we will take tonight, moving into the final 3 categories of tonight's award show. We have Best Character Development. Now, character development and character growth is something that I feel like people have a lot of trouble with as far as their understanding of what those definitions are. It is very subtle. But as far as like how we kind of approach this, it is character development is what I've seen on the internet used as something that people say when a character grows or learns something and changes as an individual from a specific event or happening, right? Character development is not that. So the way that it kind of goes as far as literary functionality is you have the character's initial characterization. This is your first, showing of this character, learning something about them for the first time. Your initial opinion and their establishment in the story as this character is based off of their initial characterization. From that point, you have their development. Any new information you learn about that character from that point of initial characterization then moves into the development category. And then now that you've learned all of this stuff about the main character and you feel like you kind of know them from their development, then they're going to experience things in the story that change them for good or for worse, or for good or for better or for worse. You know what I mean? That is growth or progression, any kind of change. It doesn't have to be positive movement. They can revert. They can take steps backwards, and that's still character growth. You know what I mean? So that is something that I feel like people should know, period. Especially before going into, voting on a specific category. But our nominees are Aki Hayakawa from Chainsaw Man, Bakugo Katsuki from My Hero Academia, Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, and Shigaraki Tomura from My Hero Academia. Now, as far as these 4 go, I feel like Aki smokes this as far as the things that I've read. I cannot speak on Eren Yeager, but I feel like if we are entering the final phase of the series, there's not too much more development to be had for his character arc, and we are probably all seeing growth inside of his character. So I feel like Eren Yeager, even though I do not read Attack on Titan, I feel like couldn't possibly win this, considering the series is ending. And yeah, but Aki Hayakawa, that part 1 is over, so you can make an argument like, oh, how come Aki Hayakawa? Well, it's a very short story, less than 100 chapters, and his entire character arc is finished. You know what I mean? So you got all of his development, growth, everything from him inside of 2020, essentially. So you know what I mean? That is kind of like what it goes. But basically, TLDR. Character development is learning more about a character that you didn't already have. So basically, the character you meet at the start of the series has a story, a past, a history that you don't know, and the fleshing out of that past is their development. Growth and progression is any kind of changes that the narrative gives to that character after you've met them. Boom. All right. Now, how do you guys feel about the nominees?
I totally agree with what you said. Like Aki is my pick on this list. I will say Malone in the chat had a very good point about Eren, right? That like Eren doesn't actually develop, right? Like there's progression, but he grows, but there's no development. He's literally like the exact same character. Right? No, the whole story. The whole story. He's basically the exact same person the entire story. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean,
no way, because when he goes over the water and sees people.
Before, development, you would say like is information, right? Like we get like more information going deeper into what makes up the character, right?
Yes.
And I think there definitely was some in 2019. Cover your ears for 10 seconds if you don't read Attack on Titan, but we get information that Aaron's Titan like can see the future. That's development, right? Like you don't know that he can see the future, but like that's not 2020, shit. Right? So like 2020. Yeah, so 2020, like the development is not very strong. He's very, static in that way.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, he grows. Yeah, he grows.
Wow.
Yeah. For me, I mean, Aki is the choice of the nominees, but my actual choice in the same story is Makima. How much information did we get about Makima this year?
Everything. Literally
Makima,
everything. That's such a good
everything
point.
That you ever needed.
Is character development like incarnate inside of the year 2020. Like she's a mystery the entire series. And then we learn everything about her in the stretch of like 15 chapters.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Makima should definitely be on the list and win just based off that logic alone. Very good kick.
Yeah.
I love that. But let's just get into the winners because I don't think that we need to talk about this too much.
No.
Nick, hit me with the drum roll, please. The winner of Best Character Development 2020 is Aaron Yeager.
Damn. Right. This is where votes.
So this is where I feel
it's just
like
confusion on the topic.
I feel like it's confusion on the topic, especially considering he smoked this poll. And I don't read Attack on Titan, so I was hoping to come to the chat and to Nick for people to tell me, does it make sense that Aaron Yeager wins Best Character Development here? I assumed without reading it that no, he doesn't. I think that my logic was sound. I just don't think that there's a whole lot of development to be had, especially in the last 30 chapters of your story.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
doesn't
like,
make
as a main
sense.
character, you should be fully developed by now.
Yes.
Maybe you can learn. You can get a couple flashbacks here and there before the end of the series where you learn a little bit more, but not enough to beat anybody else on the list. Yeah.
That is a fantastic point, right? Yeah. Like if your story is ending, there should be no more development. You know what I mean? Like your character should be developed. You should be reaping the benefits. You should be you should be harvesting the fruits that you've grown this whole story. The growing of the fruit rather is the development, right? Like you're getting a bigger and bigger fruit, more and more information, more and more depth of the character. But like the fruit's already harvested.
Exactly.
Like in the final arc, you know what I mean? Like,
come on, man. Well, hopefully someone learned something from this.
Yeah, feels like a sunny interaction. Like you've been cultivating mass. You've been cultivating mass for too long. It's time to start harvesting. Like stop cultivating. Start harvesting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into the next category, which is Best Character Growth.
So this one's probably wrong too.
Well,
it might be. We'll see.
We'll see. So the nominees that we have for Best Character Growth are Denji from Chainsaw Man, Shigaraki Tomura from My Hero Academia, Yuji Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen, and Bakugo Katsuki from My Hero Academia. Now, character growth, all of these nominees fit here. All of these nominees fit here for progression.
Definitely.
Definitely all of these fit here. And my choice... Now, I feel like Denji here is going back to earlier in the award show. I can't remember which category it was, but Kiko made a great point about how Chainsaw Man is different in the way, not in the same way that One Piece is different, but in the vein that like you almost need a different grading scale for Chainsaw Man because of how different of a story it is than anything that we've seen so far. You know what I mean? But Denji technically has all of the character growth applications that make it make sense that he's on this list, and he, even though you kind of have to put a different grading scale there, like you can still grab like fundamental character growth instances that you can relate to everyone else on the list. Shigaraki Tomura, I feel like his growth comes more from physical. Like, obviously, his character has grown. Like, we see progression in him. He's learning new things. He's becoming a different character over time. But I feel like a lot of that, I feel like most of that, even though there is a lot of raw psychological character work done there in the growth department, I feel like the majority of his growth in 2020 has been physical, power-based, right? My Villain Academia was obviously great for his development, but as far as actual progression goes, I feel like Shigaraki definitely deserves to be on the nominee list, but I don't think he wins here. I personally either give it to Yuji or Bakugo. Period.
Yeah, and see, I give it to Yuji, but Bakugo is, I think, a little slept on in this category. It kind of goes under the a little under the radar
for the reasons
with his changes.
That anything goes under the radar for My Hero Academia because it has that very generic film over it. It's very easy to assume that it's something that you don't need to look very deep into. So a lot of people will miss that kind of stuff. Yeah,
but I echo that Yuji is my choice too. It's just like so much has happened to him, and he is changing almost per chapter. Every chapter he gets fucking growth. So like, it's hard not to pick Yuji.
Yeah.
So
it's really hard not to pick Yuji here. Yeah.
For me, I have two here. Yeah. One on the list, one off list. I'll begin with my off list pick just to throw it out there. Chrome from Dr. Stone has had some of the best progression ever for me.
Sir.
Like when he is like because Senku is like incapacitated and he literally has to be the science guy. He can't be just the happy-go-lucky I really love looking for minerals. I really love exploring. He has to go into the science. He has to actually take point.
He has to be Senku in the interim. That is, even if he doesn't successfully become Senku in that moment,
which is impossible.
Having to try his hardest to get there is massive growth for Chrome. Massive growth for Chrome.
That one chapter of him like essentially designing a drill, like a tunneling drill system, and he if Senku were there, he would just tell him like, drills exist, right? Like, it's not that big a deal. But he is like sweating. He's like figuring out like, how do I get oxygen in this tunnel? How do I get the earth out of here? Like
he's just inventing it.
It shows that it doesn't
exist to him.
It did a great job of showing that difference of like, okay, we know that Senku is there. If Senku is there, it doesn't matter what you don't know because Senku does and he'll tell you. When Senku is not there and you have to be Senku, it really shows you a lot of things. Obviously, it shows you a lot for Chrome's character, but it also it gives more value to Senku because Senku's been there the whole time. So even though you know that he's the reason why anything moves in Dr. Stone, when he's taken away, you really see his value. And his absence. And seeing that Chrome has to kind of like fill that gap to the best of his abilities is one of the best growth catalysts that I think I've seen in the last 10 years.
It's fantastic.
Storytelling. Yeah, absolutely.
And so honestly, Chrome's been my favorite character in Dr. Stone since like chapter 20. Like, the entire story. As soon as he was introduced, like,
it's hard not to heavily fuck with Chrome.
Right. Now, my other pick on the list, Denji. Denji is actually my pick here, and I'll give three main examples why. One, his development of by development I mean progression of his feelings for power, right? Beginning of the story, super horny. In 2020, it's like he develops his feelings for her as if like she's basically like a best friend, a sister, it's not.
It's crazy.
Explicitly, it's not fully sexual, right? He says like this might be naughty, but it doesn't feel naughty to me, right? Yeah. That's huge. Dealing with the loss of Aki, right? Like going from like super doesn't give a fuck about anything, like idiot, to like really seriously dealing with the aftermath of Aki. I think that's huge.
Piggybacking
and then
off of your, I just wanted to dovetail off of your Makima point. Because the way that the biggest growth point, at least of what it feels like the biggest growth point inside of Denji's character for me, now that Chainsaw Man Part 1 is over, and I know that we want to save our like thoughts on the end of Chainsaw Man for our special one-shot that we're going to do, by the way. Surprise, we're doing a special one-shot dedicated to the end of Chainsaw Man because we didn't get to cover it during.
We owe it.
We definitely do owe it. So we are going to specifically talk about the last two chapters of Chainsaw Man that we did not review on our regular show since we've been on break. So look out for that in season 3. But as far as like Makima and Denji goes, Denji, when he has that moment of realization when he's talking to Kishibe and he kind of goes like, I think I get it now. And like you get this moment where he's like, I attribute it to when you're young and you don't know anything, you think your parents are gods, literal gods, until you start noticing flaws. As you get older, you start noticing flaws in their logic when they say things to you. You're more of a person now. You have your own opinion on things. You're thinking more critically, and you go, these people aren't perfect. You know what I mean? That's a big hit for a kid to take, to know that your dad is not actually a superhero, to know that your mom is not actually Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Denji kind of like sitting there and going like, I've been looking up to Makima on this pedestal as someone who I'm trying to get to, who's above me, but like, no, like we're on the same level. We're one. You know what I mean? It's like that same realization that you get when you realize your parents aren't perfect. That if I had like, if this was the Noxie Awards, best character growth would go to the moment in my life that I realized my parents weren't fucking Greek gods. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like Denji, in that respect, you just sold it. Denji should win here. Denji should win here. Yeah. Absolutely.
The other like point to dovetail off what you're saying is that like the other big one for me in 2020 was him overcoming his infatuation with Makima, right? Like he's been a simp the entire story, and he finally got over it.
Day and night we've been clowning him from head to toe, roasting his ass to oblivion. You simp.
Immense
you this, you that.
growth. Immense progression.
Yeah. The thing you said to me that like really hit is how, you know, him and Power's relationship have changed, but the fact that when he was like, this feels like we're doing something that's naughty, but like it just don't feel like that to me. Like I don't have those feelings anymore. Like that really, really hits hard because it's like you think like, what does Denji think about
sexual situation? It feels so platonic to me.
Exactly. And when you think about Denji going back in my mind, in his mind and saying, I felt her up because that was a reward of me saving Meowie or whatever, way back, whatever, chapter 25 or some shit. I don't know, even before that. But it's like him thinking, I bet like, obviously he's not a real person, but like you could like peer into his mind to think like, how does he feel about that situation that happened? And now he's probably like, man, I feel real weird about that. Like I don't feel good about that situation. I would assume. So like, man, you're really kind of selling me on Denji. It's just that like Yuji just stick so much out to me because it's like every single fucking chapter, like in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 chapters, which, you know, being a victim of like the here and now kind of thing too. It's just like Yuji like felt like it was far and away to me, but you, really pulled me back on the Denji.
You killed it.
Like, any of these four nominees are very good options for best of the year for sure.
Absolutely. So let's get into the winner. I think that we said everything that we need to say.
Yep.
And I think that we can go right into the winner. Nick, hit me with that drum roll. And the winner of Best Character Growth 2020 goes to Bakugo Katsuki.
That makes sense. That's a good one.
It's like the thing with One Piece, right? It's like it's so established, and we've been needing this from Bakugo for so long. When it came, I was just like, thank the Lord, thank the good Lord that we got, you know, Bakugo being a human being now. Finally, like it was so needed that it's one of those things. It's just like build up and anticipation of a thing that once you finally get that thing, that it just soars above other stuff, you know, like
bro, you said that so well. Oh my God.
I really get it. And damn, this is again really fucking close, man. And
this is one of the closer polls that we've seen for first, right? So like usually it's like first sweeps and then like the other three or the next two are close, but like inside of the winner, this is close as shit. Like, look at this difference here. We have a difference of like 13 votes.
Yeah. That's
awesome.
That's very good. Like I'm proud of our voters by and large, right?
I swear to God, bro.
There was a few where I was like, not so much. But
game. But like character development and progression is obviously going to be hard for a lot of people. I understand that. But like outside of that, there weren't a lot of like nominations where I was like, what are you doing here, bud? You know what I mean? Like Kobeni's car is like funny. You know what I mean? But it's like that's not something you like rage over, you know what I mean? Like, but like for best new character 2020, you know what I'm saying? Like, but for like everything else, like I don't really see too many head scratchers in the nominees. So good shit, you guys.
Well,
for the nominees and the votes. Seriously.
I wanna read Rand Frank's comment here. You see this? There are 3 points for Bakugo's growth in 2020. He viewed himself as a loser compared to Deku and wanted to surpass him. 2, he started to understand Deku's incomparable dedication and truly started to step in Deku's shoes. 3, he realized his bully towards Deku, and he has a 4, even though he said 3 points. He started to value saving before winning, and it's like, wow. I really liked your comment there. That was awesome.
I'm modding you. I'm modding you just off GP, my G. Like I'm modding the shit out of you for that, bro. That was very beautifully said. I don't even know. Yeah. It's not letting me mod you right now. We gonna figure it out, bro. I got you. Trust me, I got you, bro. We gonna get you modded. I'm gonna remember your name. Rand Frank. I got you, my G.
Yep.
All right.
Rand Paul Frank.
Congratulations, Bakugo Katsuki. Let's get into the final.
Ooh.
the final category tonight, which you all know what it is.
You know what it is.
It has to be.
Best manga of 2020. Take a look at the nominees. One Piece, Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, and My Hero Academia. These are the top 4 nominees that you guys submitted for this poll. And holy shit, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
This is the sweating meme with buttons. You're
like,
you don't know what button to push, bro.
Exactly. The swole ass superhero over the fucking buttons with the fucking, crimson chin. Yeah. You know the meme. This is crazy, man. And I'm sad that Chainsaw Man didn't make the top 4 nominees, but honestly, these are the 4 that should be here.
Yeah.
I mean, let me jump in first here.
Switch out One Piece for Chainsaw Man, which is weird to say, almost to me.
Right. I was gonna jump in and say my number 1 of the year is Chainsaw Man, and let me give a quick example of why. Right. Yeah. Because we talked a lot about Chainsaw Man tonight, right? I think everyone knows that we love Chainsaw Man.
Yes.
But Chainsaw Man is like Witch Head Atelier, which by the way, Witch Head Atelier won like an award this year for best manga of the year, right? In 2020.
One time on this list, bro. God,
yeah,
2021 better have Witch
2020 Chainsaw Man was so interesting and so hype that we, like me and you and everyone, right? Like we were hyping Chainsaw Man to other people. Now me and my wife have gotten like say a dozen people to read Chainsaw Man this year because we hyped it so much and because the first volume is so high quality,
manga,
right?
You told me.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers that don't read manga, don't watch anime barely, you got them on Chainsaw Man and they said this is peak fiction.
Yes.
Come on, man. Come on,
I got so many people who do not read manga to read Chainsaw Man, and that alone, besides all the other hype about the series, like it is just so unique, so beautiful, so perfect. It has to be my number 1 for the year. But on this list, Jujutsu Kaisen.
If we base our votes as critics, enthusiasts, what we do as analysts, if we base it off of just the sheer intensity of our reviews, then Undead Unluck or Chainsaw Man have to win best manga of 2020. Just off of if we're going just off of how we feel in review mode, in podcast mode, in analyst mode.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man and Undead Unluck have been the best discussions that we've had all year, and it's not even close. We get in our bag heavy for Jujutsu Kaisen. We get in our bag heavy for everything that we review, especially Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia. I feel like are the top 2, and Undead Unluck over on our Patreon exclusive content. But Chainsaw Man was just such a different experience as far as conversational value goes. I don't think that I've had a better comic book experience in my life if we're adding that conversational element.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Solo comic book reading experience is obviously a lot different, but we are obviously reviewers, analysts, critics, so we talk about these things in depth together on camera, and that atmosphere elevates Chainsaw Man to levels that don't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
But technically, as far as technical storytelling application goes inside of what we understand of the genre, excluding all of those wild card factors that Chainsaw Man, Undead Unluck, and whatnot bring to the situation, I feel like the winner for 2020 inside of the list of nominees that we have here is, emotion excluded, My Hero Academia.
That means emotion included. But
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Okay,
I'm looking at this, and I understand that you want to say emotions included because it's a superhero story, and I'm a superhero buff. But just from raw literary application, I feel like we see more raw data inside of the year of 2020 from Horikoshi Kohei.
Sure. Period. Yeah, and Hero is in such the sweet spot for manga, right? It's right at a peak climax arc that's midway. It's part 1 climax, right? It's and you really feel if you get My Hero Shippuden after this fucking arc, then sure, it's basically the climax of Chainsaw, like how Chainsaw Man just ended, right? So I definitely can see where you get all that.
If emotions included, I choose Jujutsu Kaisen for the year.
Because
like, and even though there's a whole bunch of objective things I can say about Jujutsu Kaisen's value in the year of 2020, like personally, I can't put Jujutsu Kaisen for the year of 2020, despite everything that we've talked about in our reviews. I personally can't put it over My Hero Academia just because. And this is not like a sweep, in my opinion. Like, this is not like, for me. This is like literally like right here. You know what I'm saying? Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia are literally, and it's crazy that I even put them over One Piece.
Yeah, grade 1 sorcerer versus grade 1 curse, right?
Exactly,
like
exactly.
Barely staggered.
That's the difference. And the reason why I give it to My Hero Academia is because the sheer data, like I was saying, like we have so much character work inside of so many characters that matter. It's not just like we focused on Sato Sugar Rush for a couple panels and he got a great hype moment inside of a fight or something like that. We got Endeavor shit. Dobby shit, fucking, Todoroki shit, compressed shit, fucking
Hawks
twice shit. Literally every character that ever meant anything in My Hero Academia, we got the best character work we've ever seen for them inside of 2020.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there are so many things, and I hope Aniki is watching right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm really trying to give my best for My Hero Academia inside of this best manga of 2020. You know what I'm saying? And I genuinely believe, out of everything that I've read this year, that My Hero Academia should win. But I want Jujutsu Kaisen to win. I know that Attack on Titan and One Piece are the top two votes. You know what I mean? And that's and I know I've seen the results, but like even before I saw the results, I knew that it would be this way. You know what I mean? So, but that's my thoughts on it.
It was extremely hard to me to pick out of Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, and Undead Unluck for me, because I put Undead Unluck right with them. Like honestly, for best manga of 2020, if I'm just looking at this year, it's just so hard to like really, because it's like to have a story be that fucking just captivating in 44 chapters, not even an entire year,
without feeling congested, cluttered. Pacing is perfect at all times. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell that this is something where every single facet of it was planned by the author, and you can tell that it's going to be that way throughout the entire series. That is massive for a Weekly Shonen Jump title. That doesn't even make sense. That's shit you only see in the seinen category of things, really.
It's always tough when you're using the words best, right? Because it's so subjective, and it's like, because like if I was reading alone and I wasn't doing a podcast, I would say it's Jujutsu Kaisen. But since I do a podcast and we fucking converse about this shit intensely every fucking week, Chainsaw Man and Yu Yu Hakusho, Undead Unluck, Yu Yu Hakusho, go to the best manga of the year. Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho is secretly hidden because of the self-styled Kozuki Odin, aka Malone _real Odin in the chat right now. I was making the thumbnail for this award show inside of our special grade hidden, Discord area for patrons, and I was doing the thumbnail with Odin and a couple other patrons, and Odin was like, I gotta fill this space up with volume covers. Which volume covers do I use? Odin was like, throw Yu Yu Hakusho in there subtly, somewhere, hide it. You know what I'm saying? I put it right behind Luffy's like left elbow, like you can see like one U from the volume cover. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in there if you look at it. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
It's like I'm looking at chat too, and obviously there's a lot of talk of Undead Unluck, but it's always abbreviated as UU. So I was like Yu Hakusho. But yes. But since we discuss these things weekly, my GOAT villain, right, of the year. It's 1992.
Since we talk about multiple manga, keep going.
Yes. But it was just so hard to choose between those three, because like I said, if I was reading by myself and wasn't having these conversations, I think it's Jujutsu Kaisen like far and away. But it's like, since we talk about it, and since I want to dig deeper into, like with Chainsaw Man, it's very visual. There's a lot of symbolism. There's a lot of things that you're digging a treasure out of a fucking hole, right? Like you're just trying to dig out, new special fucking things to talk about and find stuff. So it's like you really stare at it for a long time. Undead Unluck, you comb the story over, you know, because of the breadcrumbs left. Like I said, you'll be standing in a pile of croutons after no time, and you have no idea where these breadcrumbs led you. Led you.
The best
I don't know. That's what I think of as breadcrumbs, is croutons.
The best thing about Undead Unluck is the mystery element. The fact that Tozuka is writing very much a mystery story. And is leaving the evidence to solve that mystery in the story, in the visual storytelling, in the panels, in hidden words and ways that Tozuka writes things in dialogue bubbles are all clues that we can use as analysts to figure out this mystery before Tozuka reveals it in the narrative. That is so fun. It's like I'm reading a Hardy Boys book. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's 1999 and I'm on the Choose Your Adventure, you know what I'm saying, book, where it's like, if you want this to happen, go to page 295. If you want this to happen, go to page 340. You know what I'm saying? Like it very much feels like that. And the fact that Tozuka can scratch so many itches that I didn't even know I had inside of this genre, on top of taking those traditional elements of shonen storytelling, spinning them on their head, reinventing so many things while telling an amazingly cohesive story that doesn't make sense pacing wise for its chapter count. It's just ridiculous, the things that Undead Unluck has shown us inside of 2020, and we have to show love for Undead Unluck, even though it is not inside of the nomination list, but very much, in my opinion, deserving to be so. But
so I'll just go ahead and make a firm choice, because I did, and it's Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, and like just watch our Roger, our guest on Roger. Like, we were pushing that Jujutsu Kaisen.
We were going crazy on Jujutsu Kaisen on Roger's base stream. We were going crazy on Jujutsu Kaisen for Neverworld stream. For Project
Never
Manga.
Already knew where we stood. That was a little different, right? For Neverworld fucks with us like that, so he knew where we stood. But like, I don't think Roger was ready for us to like hard body fucking Jujutsu Kaisen to the top of the list. Like,
absolutely. And if you haven't peeped those conversations, please definitely do so. We definitely do push Undead Unluck and Jujutsu Kaisen as hard as we possibly could. Throughout that stream.
But yeah,
man. Best manga 2020, man.
Yeah. I like dynamic paneling and choreography. Like, I like people getting stabbed in the foot 4 times in one panel. Like, that's me. That's me, man.
Gege loves that, like, multiple stabs in one
I like
panel.
Flowing red scale type shit, bro. Like, give me the martial arts, man. Baby. Like that's why Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like Hunter, obviously 2.0. So like, it's always going to be my favorite.
Exactly.
Probably forever and ever and ever. So
Nick, what's your pick?
He did Chainsaw Man.
Oh, you said you said Chainsaw Man.
But from this 4, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Best manga 2020. Our nominees, one more again, are One Piece, Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, and My Hero Academia. And you want to know what? I gotta grab something special for this.
Oh, what do we got?
Nani
the fuck, bruh.
All right. Well, now everybody, the winner of Best Manga of 2020 goes to Nick. I need a very, very exaggerated drum roll here. And the winner of Best Manga 2020 Project Manga Awards Year 1 goes to Shingeki no Kyojin!
Yeah. Like,
makes sense.
Let's
I
go.
expected it. Like, I expect as a non-reader, I still expected it.
Here
like, I mean,
we
as somebody not caught up, it's like, how do you exist on Twitter and not understand like where Attack on Titan is? Like it's like I go on Twitter, so I know where it's like I'm there.
Here are the results.
I want to see the votes though.
Yeah, I do want to see the votes.
And you want to know what? I'm just gonna blow them up. Boom, right there. Best manga 2020. We see that Attack on Titan wins with a total of 820 votes. We have Attack on Titan with 254 votes.
Yeah.
The runner-up, My Hero Academia, at 212 votes. The third runner-up, Jujutsu Kaisen, at 212 votes. And One Piece at 142 votes. Attack on Titan, very well deserved here for the W. You will not see me complaining.
I love this voting ratio. Like, I feel like this is accurate. As somebody who doesn't know much about Attack on Titan and only gets to see it through Twitter and through vicariously through other people, like that fucking just makes all the sense in the world that's how that panned out. Because Hero and Jujutsu are actually tied. That was they were tied. So
never thought that I would in a million years see a series that I don't read win and beat out series that I think that are so deserving of this number one spot and just not care just off of the sheer number of people that I respect saying this is the deserving manga for this year. Roger's base stream, obviously, if you guys saw that, you saw exactly how the people felt about that stream, you know what I mean, inside of the chat. And It's just Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, an amalgamation of all of the social media apps that I'm a part of are screaming at the top of their lungs for Attack on Titan being the best manga of 2020. So I am not mad about it at all. This is incredible. I'm so happy about Attack on Titan. I'm very happy with the voting tonight all around, regardless of how I felt about some of the winners. This has been very fun. I've learned a lot. I feel like everyone has learned a lot here. And this has been an incredible experience, and I cannot wait to run this back for 2021. You guys,
absolutely,
for real.
Just what a success this was. Just fantastic,
crazy. Yes, absolutely. But you guys, that's best manga of 2020, Project Manga style. Project Manga Awards, the first annual Project Manga Awards, and we will be back. Yearly, annually. Now, when I was going through it and I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, can you really say it's annual? That this is the first year, so I want to say inaugural because who knows if we're going to do this again. I know we're going to do this again.
We're doing it again,
but I just wanted to be, literary correct or whatever the term is. But hell yeah, you guys, this was fucking awesome. Panzu Eagle is great. Just wanted to throw that out there for you. Eagle is great. Do not think that Eagle's absence in any way means anything that you guys are thinking.
He'll be back better than ever soon.
Scenarios go, and as far as like whatever, like talk to Eagle if you want. He's already kind of like made his statements online already as far as what's going on with him, but he will always talk to you. So if you want to talk to him, go ahead. I don't need to speak for the man, but Eagle is great, Panzu. But this was best manga of 2020, you guys. And we're going into 4 hours and 20 minutes. Obviously, when this hits YouTube, all the technical difficulties and whatnot will be cut out. So we're probably looking at more of like 3 hours and 15 minutes, 3 hours, 30 minutes, whatever. But you guys, we still have 60 people watching right now. That is so crazy that we peaked at about 90 and we never went below 50. Like that's so crazy, you guys. Seriously.
So fantastic.
We've been doing this for 4 hours. It's like 2 a.m. for us almost. Like I know that some of you guys are halfway across the planet, so it's probably like I don't even know what time it is for you guys right now.
Oh, it's tea and crumpets time for y'all, bro.
For gin? Afternoon tea already?
Gin, we on tea and crumpets? We doing baguettes? I don't know, but hey, smoke them if you got them. I don't know what you say, but this is best manga 2020, Project Manga style. You guys, this has been incredible. You guys have been incredible in the chat. Sorry we couldn't include you guys a little bit more like we usually do in live streams, but this is such an epic topic with so many categories
long,
and so many
much,
things to talk about. We had to dedicate it to the narrative of the stream. So, but
we were shooting for 2 hours, and in Project Manga style, we went for 4.5.
4.5. Yeah, it's 4:20 right now, baby. Hey, 4:20.
We on Project Manga time now. You know what I'm saying? But you guys, thank you so much. If you guys are new here and you're new to Project Manga, thank you for joining the stream. Thank you everyone who followed, subscribed, interacted in any kind of way. This was crazy. You have no idea what this means to us. This was something where I was like, damn, we're supposed to be off. You know what I'm saying? We're in between seasons, and I was like, damn, we got to do shit. We're supposed to be relaxing. We would not rather be doing anything but this. This is fucking amazing.
Right. You see my Twitter activity. I've been itching.
Yes, absolutely. Can't wait to get back into manga talk in general. In season 3 of Project Manga is coming very soon. We will be getting back into things with issue number 3 of Weekly Shonen Jump coming up here pretty soon. But you guys, if you're new to Project Manga, please, I implore you to check out our About section on Twitch, see all of our links, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, follow us wherever you normally get your podcasts. But you guys, holy shit. Best Manga 2020. You guys are incredible. We're about to bounce. But if you guys want to talk to us, you know where to find us. Join our Discord, follow us on Twitter, what have you. You know what it is. Viewers on YouTube, thanks for watching. Let us know how you felt about anything. literally. Our
Yes, please do.
analysis, the votes, our takes, whatever. We're always down to talk about anything. But
blame your peers, because this wasn't our choice.
Yeah, you guys know. You guys heard our takes. You guys know how
we said our picks.
We said our piece, absolutely. But yes, this was very much so a public vote. But can't wait to get back into it next time, you guys. Project Manga Awards 2020. Can't wait for 2021. Do you guys have anything else you want to say tonight before we close off?
No.
Just that this year, 2020, has been an amazing year for me, for Project Manga, for manga readers generally. I feel so blessed to be a part of this team and to be able to share my love of manga, our love of manga with all of you. I mean, it's just the best thing about 2020, right? Like manga, right? So
in this decade of
love you
year,
all so much.
We love you, and thank you so much for your support. We will see you guys in season 3. Follow us on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so we can chirp you when new content is online. Check us out everywhere that you normally get everything, but that is going to do it for the very first Project Manga Awards 2020 wrapping up. Yeah. I'm your host, Noxie.
Peace, y'all. It's Kiko.
And Nickums.
We'll catch y'all in season 3. We'll send y'all off with some nice tunes, and we will catch y'all in the future. Peace out, you guys.